All right, we're live.
Oh
Hi, everyone.
Gosh. I'm not ready.
She's not ready.
I'm not ready. I'm not.
Okay, she's not the only one. I'm also
I'm not ready.
I have gum in my mouth. This is the worst.
This is a train wreck.
I know.
I
I gotta
mean,
take it out.
we're a train wreck most times, but tonight is especially a train wreck. I mean, I was upstairs packing shoes, and Isaac's like, "Have fun on the stream, Mom." I'm like, "Oh crap! It's time to go."
I know.
It's
There was
7:58.
There was part of me that thought, "Oh man, can we even do it?" I'm not sure if we're gonna even be able to pull it off.
I'm not gonna lie. Part of me wanted to cancel tonight.
Yeah. Well, and we didn't, and I'm glad because we're doing.
I hope you guys appreciate it. We're here.
That's always the best. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming. I hope you appreciate it.
I hope you appreciate it. Tonight, I hope you appreciate it.
Just ignore Meredith, please.
Just ignore me.
We're glad you're here.
Dave does every time.
And you know what? I'm glad we're doing it. Now that we're doing it.
What's going on with this? Like, why can't I set that? Like, what's wrong with this day?
I don't know. Every week she comes down and she complains that her microphone's not set up, and I just leave it on the couch for her. And so I thought, you know what? I'll try and be nice and I'll set it up. That's how it goes. Anyway.
That's what you get for being nice.
Al Padrino's here. Nathan Phillips, Mike Montgomery. I got a question actually from Jeremy before.
I really love you guys. I just want you to know that.
Oh, she does.
Oh my gosh, this microphone's going to fall in my face.
She complains to me the same way she complains
That's right.
You
Don't
guys.
think that you're getting special treatment. This is how life is all the time.
Good to see Greg L. Yeah, Jeremy had a question. It was about drawing torsos, and he said sometimes I draw it flat, sometimes I draw it like an oval. The truth is that, and I'm just going to do this for you quickly, Jeremy, and I hope that this helps, but I have an entire video on it, basically breaking the torso down, the male torso down in simple shapes.
Before you do that, first I have to welcome Gabrielle Santos to the Finch Walk.
Oh, hey, Gabrielle,
another new member tonight. And a super chat already from Trent Early for $10. Trent says, I just want to say hi and that I love you guys. You are the king, Mr. Finch. Thank you so much, Trent.
Thank you very much, Trent. I really appreciate it.
Jumping in.
Okay, so I'm just going to say here is a chest that's flat. And I'm drawing it flat because I'm looking straight at it. And here is a chest that is an oval. And I'm drawing it as an oval because I'm looking at it from the side. And then if I look at it 3/4, this would be my center line here. Here's my armhole. And it's like a vest. And you need to be able to think of it in terms of, now, of course, I didn't draw a vest for the first one. Let me actually make a vest out of that. And it's a form you need to be able to turn. And so think of it as a form you're turning in space. And you need to be able to visualize it as a 3D shape. That seems very difficult. And it can be maybe a little difficult, I think, to start, but it gets very easy very quickly. And you need to be able to rotate simple shapes in space like this. Is fundamental to being able to draw. So I do hope, Jeremy, that that's helpful. Okay, here we go. Judge Dredd.
Mike Montgomery wants to know.
I didn't see, by the way. Oh, Kenny Wang's here.
Stop. Why are you interrupting me?
Because I didn't see.
Okay, so there's no need to interrupt me then.
Okay, just go ahead.
Mike Montgomery wants to know. Did you forget the garbage? No, Mike. No, I did not forget the garbage. The garbage is already out.
Oh, it's out?
Oh, yeah, I put out the garbage.
Way to go.
And I put 16 half empty or empty in some various state cans of paint in my car.
Oh, you did that. See,
and I put the dead car battery in the back of my car.
You know what? Good for you. Congratulations. And I said, I will do that right after the stream because I need to get the stream set up.
No, but then
and she says, okay, fine. And then she comes down here and tells me all about how she did it.
But you want to scan the picture after the stream, and I just want you to come upstairs and go to bed. So I want to do it beforehand so that I can relax.
Get win.
It's there's a lot of tension here to this week, people. If you thought last week we were clinging on by our fingernails, oh my gosh.
Well, Johnny
we're moving in 2 freaking days.
Johnny Fitz said he's having a bad day. And
Johnny, I love you. I'm giving you a hug right now.
Yes.
I'm hugging you because I'm like, we're stressed, but
I would not say I'm having a bad day.
I'm having a bad day. Like I have stress and some anxiety, but I'm not having a bad day at all. So Johnny, we're hugging you in as much as like I'm hugging you. I'll mom you. I'm momming Johnny. All right. Next super chat comes from Sam Kelly for $5 from Australia. Sam says, opinions on how to start making money independently through comics, i.e. releasing short stories before approaching publishers. Thanks, M&D. I'm sorry, I just have to say this. It's so funny because our names start with M&D, and that's how my mom and dad sign all their cards. M&D.
Mom and dad.
Mom and dad. So when people sign things, thanks M&D, I always think mom and dad.
Yeah.
We're like everybody's parents. Now you can answer the question.
Okay, well, I mean, honestly, you're probably more qualified to answer this than I am. The truth is that I broke in at Top Cow Productions in '94 as an intern, and I've been pretty much working consistently ever since then. So I never really had any experience in publishing my own work, or really in any of the way that publishing works. That's something that Meredith actually understands quite a bit more. So I'm going to leave that one to you, Meredith. That's really more your
in terms
area.
Of making money, I think honestly, it's very difficult to make money, like small amounts of money. Like you can kickstart things. I don't know another way to do that.
Well, okay.
Commissions. I would say commissions.
I would agree, though, that making money, if your goal is to put out your own work and make money with it, that is an extraordinarily difficult goal.
To give you an example, I'm still waiting for that. Like,
yeah, we lost quite a bit of money on
Sam, I put out Ruth
now
and Rose.
Ruth did well; it met its goal.
It did great,
but we had shipping problems.
I have yet to make money on any of my projects. Like, yeah. But when I put out Rose and when I put out Ruth, those are the two books that I've published myself. I have not turned a profit on either of those books yet.
Yeah, they both
so
Ruth. It was shipping that destroyed us, and yeah, we definitely. Now, I mean, we have that book forever.
Yeah,
and it was worth it, and I think it's a great book. And I mean, I didn't work on it, but I'm proud of that book. You know,
you're proud of Ruth.
I am, but
oh, thanks, baby.
Yeah, it definitely cost money.
It did. It's hard to make money in comics.
I really want to draw his motorcycle too.
He has a motorcycle?
He has a motorcycle. And I have it. Okay, so Henry Jeremick, if Henry's here, hopefully Henry's here. He always asks to see this.
Henry's always here. If Henry's not here, we're shutting the stream down. Like, we can't do the stream. There's a few people that you can't do the stream without. Kenny, one of the Henry, another.
That's right.
Like, yep. Eric, we can't do the stream without Eric. I mean, he's a moderator extraordinaire. So
right.
I mean, that I'm really going to get him a shirt that says
anyway, there's the layout. Here you go. And I had the motorcycle kind of sketched in. And so I'm gonna try to see if I can. It's actually a fairly simple motorcycle to draw, thankfully. It's a really comic book design motorcycle. So I think I might be able to do it. And I'm gonna try for it.
All right. So I have another super chat from Artsy Designs for $2. Artsy says, I'm bummed you're not drawing Angela for my 50th.
Oh, that's what. Okay. You know what? Okay. And that'll be next week.
On the move.
It'll be next. Yeah. So Meredith has been out running around with boxes and the whole thing the whole time. I called. I couldn't get a hold of her today. She's just out of the car and running around. And I could not remember what I was drawing. And I had to get the thumbnail up. And I knew this was not the one Meredith said that I had to do, but it was the one that I actually had up on the poll in the member section of the community tab. So yeah, it'll be next week. I'm sorry.
It won't be next week.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
it'll be in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, unfortunately.
We'll get it done. But I'm sorry.
Oh, Tim Robin has joined the Finch flock. I just saw that.
Oh, well.
I'm totally circumventing.
Yeah, you just jumped ahead. That's fine. No, you don't need me anymore. It's fine. I can go pack some more shoes. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how many
paint
boxes.
Cans that I said I would pack.
I don't even know how many. 16 cans of paint, and I'm probably leaving like 10 here. But at least the 10 here are for colors that are actually in the house.
Yeah, it's not cool to be walking away from a house leaving paint cans that don't even. That
sucks. I mean, people do it, but that sucks. Yeah. All right. Daniel Castelli has a super chat for $4.99. Daniel says, last week you said you weren't drawing Spawn. Todd told me something different. What jives? Todd picked up that Spawn. What happened was Todd was like, Todd called Dave. He's like, Dave.
You guys all watch me draw my Spawn cover. As a matter of fact, you can find it probably
a few weeks ago,
2 months back, maybe not quite 2 months back, but
months back.
I drew it on the stream, and it's going to be a cover. So there you go.
There you go. Todd is like taking a page from the Marvel book. Because Marvel does that too. They're like, hey, can we use this for a cover? So, all right. So you said Tim Robin joined the Finch Flock?
That's right.
Welcome to the Finch Flock, Tim. Next super chat comes from, I got to make sure I don't lose it. Cornelius Krieger. I say Krieger because it's K-R-Y, Krieger, as opposed to Kruger. Cornelius Krieger for 45 Dutch kroners. Cornelia says, hey, D&M, love you guys so much. How much does an average comic book sell? And how is the money it makes given equally? Okay, so I was really happy when Rose was selling 5,000 copies. Like, if you are not Marvel or DC or a character that everybody knows, honestly, 2,000 to 5,000 copies is a fantastic number.
Yeah, I mean, the lowest I've really
sold... You can go on Comic-Con. Is it Comic-Con or Comic-Con?
Comic-Con. Now, I don't know. Okay, so...
And that gives you the list of the top 300 comics. And let me tell you, Comic 300 might be selling 1,700 copies. 1,700.
At the bottom of the 300.
At the bottom of the 300.
Right. And I can tell you, so I've always done, like crossovers and bigger books for Marvel and DC. And generally speaking, it'll be, if not the top book, it'll certainly be.
Oh, yeah, because we're all publishing at Dave's level.
But anyway, those numbers are, I did Moon Knight, it was 120,000, but that was just, there was no special covers. Okay,
we're not publishing
right,
it.
Thanks.
Nobody's entering in at your level. Like, for a realistic number.
Anyway, and so... yeah, that was about 120. And then books with massive amounts of covers and all that kind of thing can shoot up to like 350,000 copies, but that's because you have a bunch of covers. So that would give you an idea of, toward the bottom of the 300 and the top of the 300.
There you go. And in terms of making money, let me tell you, if you're paying an artist and you're paying a colorist and you're paying a letterer and you're paying yourself as a writer at 5,000 copies, you might not be making money.
Oh,
2,000 copies, you might not be making money.
You're really not making money. I wouldn't.
You're not. Unless, like, I mean, to be fair, I paid a good page rate.
I got to be honest. I don't know how most writers do it. I mean, there are writers, at the top of the business. Scott Snyder and Jeff Johns. Obviously, Jeff Johns, is a producer and creative director and all that kind of thing. But they make a huge amount of money. But most writers, even working for Marvel and DC, are it's a lot of work, and the money is not huge, and you end up having to do more than one book, and it's a tough go.
There you go. So, in other words, you can't make money making comics.
Thank you for your help, Mary.
I'm just going to say, I just want, like, from a realistic point of view.
You know what? I don't understand this point of view, and that's why I'm not willing to entertain it.
All right, fine.
Yeah, let's all plan to be
Debbie Downer. I'm not being Debbie Downer.
But look,
if you're putting your own comic
this
out
is a
there,
career. You need to get your art, if you're an artist, to a point where you can turn it into a career. If it's a hobby, that's a different thing, and we're talking about a different thing. That's what we're talking about there. If it's a career, then it's something where you actually make money.
I like Michael Eamon's comment. Can I make money reading comics?
That might be tougher.
Yeah, it is why Charles Petrie's like, but writers can write more than one book, though. And that's true. That's why most writers in comics are writing more than one book a month. If that's their job and that's how they're making their living, they're not doing it writing one comic a month.
Well, and look, it's not the easiest thing in the world to get more than one book because it's very competitive. But then if you're at the top, not only are you doing more than one book, but you're making substantially more too per book.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way any business works. It's basically if your name on a book sells comics, then you get paid more. Just that makes sense.
All right. So next super chat. Let's move on to the next. I did not expect that question to be so controversial, but apparently it was. That's the mood in the Finch household today. Rike Ingles 123 has a super chat for €5. Rike says, "Hey D&M," and when people write it like that, I almost think Dungeons and Dragons because it's D and M, but D&D, D&D. But I have to say, your content this week was pure vibranium. Especially as a member. Thank you so much for that. Good luck with moving. Thank you. Dave's convinced he's going to be sleeping on the couch at some point over the next week.
Oh, it's happening.
I don't know.
I can feel it.
You're going to do it to yourself.
Okay.
As evidenced by the situation that just happened.
Right. That was all me.
That was all you. I expressed an opinion. You did not like my opinion.
Right. Okay. Anyway, I'll end up sleeping on the couch. And as always, we'll all be fine.
We'll all be fine.
But yeah, dealing with Meredith, that's
Are
you
trying to say I'm intense?
You're being a little intense right now, yeah.
I'm intense. I've been packing all day.
Yeah.
I have 2 more days of intensive packing. So the intensive packing Meredith is on the stream tonight.
Right.
Charlie Parks is a super chat.
By the way, what I'm doing right now, you can
totally cut me off.
Is I've got on my screen reference, and so yeah, normally I'd be probably inking by now, but I'm trying to get all this in here, and then we'll get to inking. Okay, go ahead, Mary.
All right, Charlie Parks. Charlie Parks.
Yeah, Charlie Parks. Yeah,
he's got a super chat for $5. May I read it now?
You okay now?
This stream is going to be amazing. DREDD. Don't forget about our secret project, Dave. I've been working hard prepping. Hashtag. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
FFFL, which I feel like is Finch Flock for Forever L. I don't know what the L is. Finch Flock Forever. I could go FFF. Finch Flock Forever. But I don't know what the L is now, Charlie. I'm sorry. And Lance DeBoyer says, don't forget the packing peanuts for the infinity vase. Oh, Lance.
It's still
I'm
up
going
there.
to put the infinity vase in a box all by itself. And then I'm going to put that box in the truck with the washer and the dryer and the couches.
Let it all bounce around.
And let life happen.
Right, yeah.
If it's an infinity vase, it should make it.
It's going to have to prove itself.
It might make it in an infinite number of pieces.
Yeah.
By the time it gets there.
It will be just fine.
Oh, yeah. Dave's going to carry that.
I know you hate it, but you're not going to destroy it just to spite me.
No, I won't now. Now it's part of the stream. Somebody's going to get a t-shirt one day with the infinity vase on it.
I think we'll owe royalties to... That was Lance.
Lance for that.
Yeah, that was Lance. Yeah.
We'll owe Lance royalties for the infinity vase. Oh, I've got super chats. I can't find them. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm so excited for the new setup when I have control of the music. Dr. Rock Art has a super chat for €5.49. Speaking of which, I watched his video where he drew the picture of us today, finally, because I had some time this morning. So much fun. So if you haven't watched that, go watch that on his channel. But Dr. Rock says, hi guys, hope y'all are fine. Joined the Finch vlog this week. Love it.
Thanks. I saw that, Dr. Rock. Thank you so much.
Have a great day and have a nice move next week. Not next week, Dr. Rock. Thursday. And I'm very much looking because, and I keep saying, we have plans. I've got some stuff I wanted to do with Charlie Parks for the stream. Mm-hmm. And that is coming. And by the way, let me just... Anyway, Dr. Rock says, all the best.
I don't know if you want to duck or something, but...
Already love this. I don't know. Already love the sketch. You need a Kleenex? Hi, Flat Meredith. My hair looked good this morning, but I've been packing.
It's been a long day. It looks good.
Well, it's not bad. It's got some curl at the back, but the front, yeah, it's not styled. Daniel Castelli has a super chat for $1.99. Daniel says, "Don't editors get paid to read comics?" Oh, Daniel, touche. You can get a job reading comics. I guess you'd be an editor.
That's true. But then, being an editor, you're responsible for making sure the comic is good. It's a whole lot better.
And making sure
easier just
people do their work.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many times editors call and they talk to me. They're like, "Is Dave turning stuff in?" And I'm like, "He's working on it."
Well, they never call the email now. Generally, usually,
he's
sometimes.
working on it.
But yeah, and I'm always behind, and I'm always
always behind.
Well, I'm always behind, and it's always I'm always working for different things. Like I've got Walking Dead covers, which I'm having the time of my life doing. And then I've got the book that I'm working on, and then I end up doing covers for Marvel and covers for DC, and I love working for both of them, and not just the company, but the people that I work for. Nick Lowe over at Marvel, phenomenal editor. I love working for Ricky Purden. Ricky Purden actually is more talent coordinator nowadays, but just people that I've known and worked with for years, and I really love doing it. And there's a point where I risk kind of letting everybody down by being too stretched, and I kind of have been lately, for sure.
Okay, sorry. When you talk, I just read ahead. I'm so sorry. Is that rude of me? It's not that I don't think that the things that you say are interesting.
Is that rude? No. Pointing it out? That's
rude. There's a pause.
Right.
There's a pause.
Okay.
So
that's your cue. Go ahead.
All right. So my cue is then for the Brad Scott Art Super Chat for $20. Brad says, "Do you miss the Image Top Cow days? And do you think the same could be done today?" Wait. The ending statement is Miss Meredith rocks. Thank you so much for the Super Chat, Brad. And for saying Miss Meredith rocks.
Yeah. Well, you are okay at times.
Sometimes. When I sleep.
When you sleep. Do I think the Image thing could happen right now? No, I don't. I think the internet killed Image, ultimately, because what ended up happening is the business became very writer focused, because the most vocal people online were more focused on stories, which I think had the benefit of really making stories much better, and helped rescue comics from a time when we had huge, great sales, and then we were on a steady decline. And it was Joe Quesada coming to Marvel and really prioritizing the writers and story, and I mean, you can see it in the output. Really, the Marvel Studio stuff is so heavily based on that era from Joe Quesada for a reason. So I can't fault it. I really can't. But it did come at the expense of really making artists kind of the central role superstars that they were. And I think you really needed that for Image to be what it was. So I think it would be tougher now. I mean, could it happen? It's not impossible, but it would be more difficult. Tougher to market, the top artists in a way that we once were able to. Nowadays, generally speaking, artists are more likely to team up with a writer. And also, it used to be like when we were doing comics, the whole time I was working in comics years ago, I was not thinking, oh, hey, this could be a movie someday and whatever, but now that's one thing that I don't like, is it's such the focus. Nobody is really I shouldn't say nobody, but so many people are not really worried about making a great comic. They're worried about making a treatment for a movie. And I think the comic work suffers because, I mean, comics to me, as a medium, tell stories in a way that no other medium can. Now, there are limitations to the medium. There are limitations to books. There are limitations to movies. But comics really are a form of entertainment that stakes out its own ground, and it's special. And when you focus too much on, just making it like a treatment for an adaptation, I think you lose some of that. Maybe that's unfair. I feel it at times, but then there are other ones that translate into great movies, and the comics great too. So what do I know? Not much.
That's true.
That is true.
That is true. All right.
Mostly I'm just bitter that,
so do you miss,
Ascension is not a movie.
There you go.
That's all it is.
Walk Yen has a super chat. I just move on from that. You know what I mean? I'm just moving on. Walk Yen has a super chat. Honestly, because I'm not even going to get into it. Walk Yen, super chat for $5. Hey, super finches. Is it possible to quickly demonstrate How a bad silhouette can negatively affect a drawing.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for the super chat. Let me think about that for just a second. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna finish his little bird on his sleeve here.
While you do that, Killer Taco says that he really loved your perspective video. It was so helpful. And thank you both, as always, for hosting these live streams. You're the greatest on YouTube.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, I read your comment, and it's like email sometimes. I've read it, and I've been so busy.
I'll respond to comments.
I need to respond, actually, because I really, Killer Tacos is always nice enough to comment on the tutorial videos, and I really try to not miss his if I can, because he always comments. So thank you for commenting here. I really appreciate it. Okay, so
does that give you time to think about it?
I'm so disorganized. Look at this, Meredith.
Look at
up on my screen right now is sketches for weeks, because I just haven't even changed my background page.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine.
Okay. All right. So what was I talking about? What was the question there?
Silhouettes. How a bad silhouette can negatively affect a drawing.
I think in the most here, I'm going to show it in a very simple way. And here's a leg. I mean, I could draw more, but just to get the point across, here's a leg, basically. And I mean, is it phenomenal? No. And it's a very simple, I just went really hard lined with it, but it's there and it's solid. So it works. That's a good silhouette, if I say so myself. This is a problem of me saying this is the good version, because, okay. And if I do something like this, I don't care how good your anatomy is, you're not going to make that look good. So there you go. That's silhouette. And this is why I stress so much gesture drawing and drawing from comics, and just, really getting comfortable with, here's my ball for my upper arm, and here's my, upper arm, and here's my forearm, and just getting really comfortable with being able to just throw out simple shapes for your sketches. And I mean, that's not anything great whatsoever. It's pretty crappy, but it looks like an arm, right? And there's enough going on there that I can kind of work with that. And you need to it needs to start to get like handwriting. Now, it gets more complex if your figures are in poses that are more complex, or you have multiple figures together and you need to size them properly. It's not always so easy as to just throw something down. But the difference between being able to get most of your figure drawn in like this versus this is very, very important. And anatomy books will not teach you this. And this is the one fundamental problem I see. So many people say, what anatomy book? What book? Where do I learn this stuff? But really, for me, I need to be able to hang my anatomy onto a form that's already working, and then I get something, and my anatomy, I'm what a mess. But yeah, there you go. I can get something that really kind of works and has the shape that I want and looks, like a pretty good leg. I mean, I could put a muscle here, I guess, and here. Here's my knee. It's not going to ever look good. And this is really definitely a problem that people have. So I think that's actually a good question in the end.
All right. Next super chat comes from Greg Ellis, Static Art, for $2. Hey, DNM, hope all's well. Can we add Black Manta?
Do we not have Black Manta?
I don't know if we do. I'm going to ask people not to add people to the list this week. I'm going to make that request. Meredith's brain is I will add Black Manta.
You have to, because first of all, it's Greg L. Second of all,
I'm going to add it on the list, and then I'm going to ask that not every week. Can we not do this every week? Well, I've spent the last few weeks just adding people to the list.
Ultimately, though, this is something I think you guys all realize.
Extensive.
It's very extensive. It's going to take me. Well, we're going to be doing this.
It's not going to all happen. I'm just asking for a break tonight to not just be jumping back and forth.
But yeah, I drew Black Manta when I first got to DC.
So I'm going to add Black
Brightest
Manta
Day covers. So
save it. Save your request for the next time we stream. when I've moved into the new house and I'm not like exhausted from days upon days. Like yesterday, I was so tired. And we did another episode of Process yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
Which is going to be amazing.
It was an emergency episode.
It was an emergency episode. I was so tired.
It went really well.
I was so tired. I had the strongest cup of tea I could possibly make, which got me through the episode. And I still slept all night. Like, we went up to bed. I laid down. Boom. I was out. I did not wake up. Everett made like 5 different dishes last night because I know I found them all on the counter this morning.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any of that happen.
We had leftovers. So
he made pancakes last night.
I know. I came upstairs from work and he was eating his pancakes.
He made
his pancakes are bigger than the plate.
I know. I was like, seriously, I came down. I'm like, the teenager has been awake and made 3 different plates dirty, plus pots and pans, and they're not put like, at least stack them by the sink, but they're not. They're like one on this counter, one on this counter. There's some stuff over here. Makes me not want to get out of bed in the morning. Dear, oh dear. All right. Johnny Fitz has a super chat for $5.
Okay.
Johnny says, I can only stay for a bit. I'm really depressed tonight. Apologies, Dave and Meredith in the chat. I hope everyone is doing well and having a good time. Johnny, I'm sorry you're feeling bad tonight. Sometimes when I have bad days, Dave can attest to the fact that I have bad days. And I think here's what I would say. And I think that this doesn't get said enough. But when you're having a bad day, that's okay. Don't feel like every day has to be a happy day.
No, it can't be.
Go and crawl into your bed or eat a carton of ice cream or do whatever you need to do to get through your bad day, because tomorrow you're going to wake up and it's going to be a whole new fresh day. And you're going to be able to put behind you whatever is going on today. Like sometimes I have like a few bad days in a row and I used to get really stressed out about it. Like sometimes I still do.
So seriously, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 at best, she did the whole, I feel depressed. Why am I always depressed? Like, I'm depressed all the time. And I'd say, every single time you get depressed. And by the way, this is like a day or maybe 2 days at most. Every single time this happens, you say, I'm always depressed. I don't know what it is. I'm like just depressed all the time. And I'm like, really, you were fine 2 days ago. You'll be fine tomorrow.
See, it's not just you. Everybody has those times. So it's okay to be depressed. And I do. There are times where I'm like, I just know I'm depressed and I can't face the world. And the great thing is the kids know too. And Isaac will come up and he'll give me a hug. But I can go upstairs. I can go in my room. I can get into bed and close the door. And nobody bothers me. Nobody's like, hey, Mom, can you come make me macaroni and cheese today? Because they know I'm just having I'm having an in bed kind of day. And
in a lot of ways, I think it's more healthy than what I do. I don't get depressed. I get angry because I'm upset about whatever. Like and I just get angry and I start lashing out. Not, I'm not breaking things, but I'm definitely.
I mean, to be fair, you're not a woman.
Well, only guys get depressed like that. Guys get depressed just sad. It's not like.
Do you get depressed just sad, or do you hide it? I've never seen you depressed just sad. Like,
yeah, I don't.
I truly never have seen that from you.
I don't have the emotional range. That's the problem.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. You're emotionally stunted.
Believe me, I'm not saying I think it's a healthy thing.
See, I'm not living with. I'm emotionally. Oh my gosh, 500 updates on my computer. Remind me tomorrow. Stop blocking my screen. You're just emotionally stunted, is what you're telling us. That's Patches right. Is coming down already.
Yeah, I can hear him meowing.
Somebody texted me on Instagram. Okay, I gotta find it. Ketopia commented, waiting to hear Patches announcing her appearance on the stream later. Here she comes. Hold on, I'm going to video it. I wonder if I can live Instagram.
Wow, let's live Instagram.
Let's do it.
This is entertainment here,
I did it before. Here we go. Oh no, that's not it. I don't know how to do it.
I'm embarrassed for us right now.
She's so Patches. She's walking.
Yeah, that was it. She's done. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not your product. what she said. Just a stupid cat, man.
Oh my gosh. That was the best. She's like, you got your phone out. I'm turning around right now.
That was a total heel turn.
It really totally was. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. So next super chat comes from Sam Kelly for $5 Australian. Would you rather construct anatomy like Bridgman, compose like Loomis, or render like Wrightson? Thanks, Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad. M-U-M. Mom and Dad.
Oh, what a tough question. You know, it's so hard for me to answer because I try now. I mean, trying and succeeding are two different things, but those are both goals for me. Like, you know, I can't render like Bernie Wrightson, and I never will be able to. I can't draw like Loomis, so whatever, or Bridgman. Yeah, I pursue them both, and to just say, okay, now I'm not pursuing one anymore, even though I could. Okay, look, either you could give me either one of those, I would take that. Because I mean, come on, to be able to draw like Bernie Wrightson, yeah. And also, by the way, Bernie Wrightson is incredibly, incredibly dynamic. Like, I don't even know what I'm talking about here. I'm thinking about just his rendering, but I mean, his art is so dynamic. His fingers, like, so. I don't know that there's really given something up with Bernie Wrightson. So I'm going to say Bernie Wrightson. I think. I feel like I cheated, but I mean, you know, I think you guys would agree he's pretty dynamic.
All right. Michael Johnson Curry for $4.99. Michael says, where is the best place to post comics to get eyes on it? Been doing my own comic, but I can't get anyone to look or companies to respond to emails. I know in the interviews we've been doing, everybody's mentioned DeviantArt.
Yeah. And everyone's aware of DeviantArt, and it is a good place. But the problem with DeviantArt is if you're looking for something, you know, it's not exactly search function friendly to just find whatever, you know, look at it. It's not the cleanest way. I don't know if there's a better way, though. Like Instagram is great. You know, somebody finds your Instagram, they can scroll through a bunch of your work really quickly and easily. They can comment on it. Everyone sees it. Instagram is unbeatable. But again, you have the problem of everyone's on there, and this is the problem. You know, any platform that gets a lot of exposure, you also end up with a lot of competition, and it can make it difficult to get your work seen. So that can be an issue. I don't know. I mean, I could say, yeah, DeviantArt is great. Instagram is great. They come with their negatives too, and that just is that.
You just have to keep getting out there.
Yeah.
Like there is.
Am I on the screen? I am. Hey, look at that.
Oh, an FFFL, Finch Flock for Life.
Well, oh, hey, there you go.
There you go. SCS Powerlifting has a super chat for $5. SCS says, just got home in time. Ceremony for my parents went great, and all my brothers survived the celebrating. SCS, I'm so glad. And I'm so glad that you took time to come tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
I know it's been a tough time for you. So hopefully tonight lifts you up. Give you something fun.
Yes. It's
not Malcolm in the Middle, but does anybody remember that show? That wasn't that long ago, was it?
I never watched it. I know what you mean.
It's not a sitcom, but it kind of is. Only I'm just not It's not WandaVision, which we're finally watching.
Yes. The difference between this and a sitcom, the biggest difference, aside from not being anywhere near as funny.
Is it Meredith on the couch?
No, is that in a sitcom it's all scripted. In this, I'm really like, oh, sometimes.
That's funny. Jimmy says, Jimmy, page 1 comics, Jimmy Reyes says, Meredith Finch, is it weird that I want to someday be Patch's famous? I want to be as famous as a cat, David Finch.
Don't we all, Jimmy? Don't we all?
So funny. She's got 185 followers. She's gonna hit 200 people. The cat is gonna hit 200 followers on Instagram.
That's good to have Jimmy here.
So funny.
That reminds me, it's time for my weekly sponsor shout out. I don't actually have a sponsor. Jimmy's not sponsoring me, but like I said last week, I owe Jimmy a lot, and he's a great guy and a great friend, and so I want to give a shout out to his Gumroad, where you can find some incredible brushes for Clip Studio Paint. They're all done like you can find a Micron, you can find all the standard pens and nibs that you're used to in physical tools translated over into digital tools in a way that I think is much stronger than the built-in tools on the system, and they work phenomenally well, as both Jimmy and Jazz Singh could attest. Jazz Singh stuff is so incredibly tight and clean, you know? So, yeah.
So I've been reading through the chat a little bit, and it seems like there's a consensus that a lot of people, and I hope this makes Johnny feel better. But a lot of people in the stream are coming out and saying, I've experienced depression. And this shouldn't make you feel better, Dave, but a lot of them say that it can express itself as anger.
Yeah. So, you know, because I always think, oh no, I don't get depressed. Like that's not something, but I have come to realize I do. It's, you know, I just start lashing out. It's just too much. Like I just get overwhelmed, I think, sometimes, you know, and I love my job. I would not give it up. I love the challenge. Like I thrive on it, but it does come at a cost sometimes. Absolutely.
I think I think we should consider our feelings like seasons. And especially speaking as a Canadian who experiences all 4 seasons, you wouldn't appreciate summer if you didn't have winter. You know what I mean? Like, and I do try to keep that in my head when I'm having, like when I have a day where I'm just on such a huge high and I'm just like overwhelmed with joy and love and life. And I try to really hold on to those days and remind myself in that moment, remember this moment, because you will have the opposite feeling.
You will.
And it's okay. Like if you didn't have the opposite feeling, you wouldn't appreciate the joy.
Well, this is
when you experience it so much.
The biggest problem with joy is it's very easy to live your life waiting for whatever it is you're waiting for. You know, you have whatever goal it is you have. I certainly have mine, and we all do. And if you don't appreciate what you have, no, they say people don't appreciate what they have until it's gone, and it's very true. And I've gone through enough times where I'm not focused at all on what I actually have. I'm focused on what I don't have, and I've lost things that I had in the past. You know, like I've been doing look, okay, a good example. I was doing New Avengers, and I freaked out. You could call it depression. I was angry. There you go, and I quit. And I regretted that for years, because that was such a successful book, and it was such a foolish move for me to just quit that book. But when I was actually on the book and it was doing so well, I got nothing out of it at all. I didn't enjoy a minute of it. And I have learned that, yeah, I mean, I face the stress. It's not fun, but I always make sure. And this is something, you know, Meredith is very religious. And I'm...
No, I want to change what you just said. You said religious. Meredith has a very strong faith.
Okay, Meredith has a very whatever.
Because it's different. Religion and faith are not the same thing.
Fair enough. Okay. Anyway.
Though I do go to church, it's different. Like religion is the thing that turns people away from God a lot of times. That's
okay. Well, fair enough. You have a strong faith. And one thing, I think the most important thing that I have learned through your faith is being grateful. And it's kind of separate from faith, but it's a fundamental thing. just learning to be grateful, and I've been much better with it, and I'm happier.
Aww.
Oh my gosh, don't do it. I can't do it.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
You're the greatest.
I'm like the worst husband on earth. You say I love you, and I'm like, oh,
no, you're not the worst. You're
like
the best.
that stuff.
I couldn't imagine being with anybody else but you, Dave.
Okay.
Are you dying right now?
Yeah,
I can get more sad.
You know I can't stand that, right?
You complete me.
Please, you gotta stop.
But you do. You're my favorite person in the whole world.
Seriously.
I'm gonna read it.
I love you too.
I'm gonna read a super chat now.
Okay.
Does that make you feel better?
Yes.
It's from Tagamo Model Works. Tag says for $5. Tag says, "Hi Finches. I'm so dreading." Get it? This sketch. And then he said, "Ha ha ha." So that's why I laugh like that. Ha 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 ha. That's cute. He's dreading the sketch. I love it.
It's very cute.
It's an awesome joke. Isaac, you know who would really appreciate that joke? Isaac.
Yeah, our 12-year-old. The absolute
he's the king of the pun.
And you know, it's as he's gotten older, he's gotten better at them. Like his puns used to be like, well, okay, sure.
Everything would be like, that's
isn't that
excellent.
Punny? Yeah. Oh man.
Or you're cracking me up. Isn't that excellent?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, it wasn't even an egg joke.
For the 5th time that day.
Yeah. But for the 5th time that day, for the 5th time in the last 30 minutes.
Yes, but he's actually gotten much better. His jokes have really improved. So, you know.
So funny.
I am not being as true to his gun as I want to be right now. And so here's the I'm looking at him.
I think I'm fine.
Okay.
I don't know why it's bad today. Unfortunately, it wasn't bad for our episode last night. So
yeah, actually, that's true.
I don't know why it was so good last night.
Yeah, I'm looking at a 3D model. The gun doesn't look like it looks different. It looks a little strange, and I'm like, oh, and you know, this is a problem. I start doing these sketches. I don't have time to like step back and go, oh no, okay, let's reassess my reference, and I just gotta roll with it. So and actually, when do I ever do this? I've drawn the whole figure almost. I haven't even done his head. Let me get my head reference here.
Head reference. Oh my gosh.
His helmet reference. How's that? He's got a helmet. I always find with these, because I'm not doing the same angle, and it's really easy to kind of get a little turned around with the angle, but I think this is working out. Look, yeah, that's. I feel like I owe a preemptive apology to any British fans out there.
No, you're fine. Okay, so the next super chat comes from Chow Quinn for $10. I hope I remembered how to say that right. Chow, if I didn't, I'm sorry. It's been a week. But Chow says, excited for Dredd. Dave, do you prefer Sylvester Stallone or Carl Urban as Dredd, and why?
Okay, I love
Sylvester. Wait. Perhaps Patches as Dredd art. Love you guys. Oh my gosh, you could draw Patches as Judge Dredd.
Why did we not think of that?
Somebody else Instagrammed me today and said that you should draw Patches as Tiger from Conan or Lion from Conan. You know what I'm talking about?
Lion from Conan.
I gotta find it now.
You know who I would draw Patches as? And I'm not doing this, so let's not even start. But
is He-Man?
Yeah. Battle
Cat.
You say that as if you knew before I said it. You had no
I know.
idea.
You think I didn't watch He-Man?
Did you watch He-Man?
Of course I did.
There you go.
And I watched Thundercats. I really want to really badly sing the Thundercats. Thunder, but I can't.
Yeah.
I hope that might have been too much to get me in
No,
trouble.
I think you're probably fine with that. But I shouldn't say that.
But yeah, He-Man and She-Ra, Princess of Power. Yep. I mean, you had to know she had a horse.
Yeah, I was
watching that show. They were riding cats. Of course I watched that show. By the power of Grayskull.
I didn't watch anywhere near as much as I would have liked to.
Skeletor.
Because I wasn't allowed to watch TV as a kid. So I'd have to go to my friend's house next door. And, that's when I could get away with that, or when we weren't fighting, which was all the time. But yeah, at home, I was not allowed to watch television. All right.
I met your mom.
What are we looking at for time? 8:50.
Christopher Bouchard has a super chat for $5. Christopher says, hello, I'm new. Awesome art. Judge Dredd. Very nice. Who is Angela?
First of all, thank you, Christopher, very much. This is very succinct of you. Angela is a character from Spawn, created by Neil Gaiman, actually. Okay. I'm typing in Judge Dredd's motorcycle. Let's see what we get. Images.
BK Inglaze says Patches on the way becoming a catfluencer.
I'm getting all movie versions. I want the comic.
I'm laughing.
Oh, look at that. There's a 3D model of it that looks like it's perfect, but it's there. I think that'll do. Okay, I got reference. We're good. Here we go. I'm going to do it. This is going to be a real challenge to finish.
Oh, Art9's having a birthday.
Today?
Happy birthday, Art9.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I think that means I could sing happy. We've agreed. I've sung it multiple times. We didn't get banned. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Art9. I really wanted to do like an Isaac and say, you smell like dog poo, but happy birthday to you. Because that would be mean, and I'm not mean.
Still got it in there.
But not really. Because obviously I don't know what Art9 smells like. I've never met him, so I assume he smells good.
See, but if he did actually smell, then it would be mean. But because
I don't know,
then you're fine.
I assume he's perfectly showered.
I'm sure he is.
So
no doubt.
Oh, I'm so behind on super chats now. So we're gonna go to 81 Modus with the $10 super chat. 81 says, I'm struggling with the area between the bottom of the packs and above the abs to get the barrel chested look. The problem is I find a point of raft to know the width of it, and the peak is to find a point of raft to know the width of it and the peak of the arc. Do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, what do you
Thank you for the super chat.
Okay. So now you'll have to tell me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to explain this whole thing as well as I can. And if I'm wrong, just message again. But I do think I know what you mean. And so on my chest, I can't see my screen here. Let me just make sure that we're actually. Okay. So here's the center line. Here's my chest here. My armhole is going to go here. I guess I could put a line down the side here. And so my chest basically joins up like this. Just like this. Now, I think the reason you're having trouble is on a normal human being, this doesn't really happen. On a normal human being, you really get, a chest. Here's my chest. And here's the stomach. And, you get a stomach that goes right up into the chest. And you get some lats here. But you get something much more like this. See what I'm showing you? So you don't really have this extended out, like a plate kind of a thing. And I remember the first time I saw Jim Lee's artwork when I really first got into comics. And I thought, whoa, like it looked amazing. But it looked awesome. But I couldn't really anatomically figure it out, And that's why it can present such a problem for people, because you're really basically drawing what is essentially, here's the bottom of my chest, and it's a plate shaped like this at the front. And from the side, it would be shaped like this, and the chest connects into it like this. And then it arcs under. So that's basically it. Now, in terms of actual spacing, Half the distance of the chest, maybe, probably a little less than that. I think you can kind of play that one by ear, but something that can really cause a lot of trouble. I want to show this really quickly because I see this quite a bit. If I draw this as an arc, it looks incredibly phony. It would look fine if it was Iron Man, but as a human being, my little eraser is here. It's not ideal. But if I give it, so I went like this, out like this, down like this, and out like this again. That's really the shape that I use. And I curve it so it's I don't just go totally hard edged, but I always give the line a bit of a shape like this. And it just gives it a lot more visual interest. And if I light it, then I can kind of accentuate those points just like that. A lot cooler looking than if I just do some kind of a flat round. So there you go. Now, the other place where you could really run into trouble is when you're looking down at a chest. And actually, Eric Grove, a little while ago, was kind of having a little trouble with this one, and we were talking about it. And so here's my chest looking down at the chest. And let me make this just a little bit more clear, just tighten it up as much as I can in a minute here. Okay, and so I've got that shape going on here. Now the whole thing, my chest is rounding this way. This is like, or my collarbone, my neck comes out here. Head projects from the neck, just like that. It's the worst figure ever. But if I really round this up, it's actually not going to fit and it's going to look odd on there. So what I really need to do is find my proper eraser. What I really need to do is make that much more shallow, because here's a cylinder that you're looking up at, and that's pretty round. And a cylinder that you're looking up at just slightly is going to be much, much more flat. And you're doing the same thing with your body. It's an overall. So you really want to make this shape here much more flat and shallow, and it'll start to turn the body forward. And I think that's a problem that people have when people say, I can't get the chest turned and flip forward. I think that's the issue right there. I hope that that's helpful.
Cool. All right. So apparently it's just not just Art 9's birthday.
Oh, we got a bunch of birthdays. Okay. Who else?
It's also Art C's birthday. And Amy Morris sent me a super chat for $5 saying, hi, Finch family. It's my birthday today and my son's. And I got to hear Patches' sassy meow. My day's complete. Best wishes on the big move. So I have to sing happy birthday again. And then you can do your book of the week. I have just enough time. Because I can't only sing happy birthday to Art 9. So I have to sing for everybody else. Happy birthday, Artsy and Amy and her son. Happy birthday, Artsy, Amy and her son. Happy birthday, Artsy, Amy and her son. Anybody else who has a birthday? Happy birthday, Artsy, Amy and her son. And many more. What'd you do? What button did you push?
Applause.
Did you? Okay, you're nice.
Well, I can't.
You can sleep upstairs tonight.
I got no problem with. I'm not even using a pencil for this motorcycle. This could be such a disaster. I just don't have time. That was
so fast. I have time for another super chat before the book of the week.
Oh yeah,
Wayne Blackman for $10.
Hey,
Wayne says,
it's been a bit.
"Yeah, Wayne. Hey guys, thanks as always. David, are you able to share what you'll be doing on the Spawn book this year? I heard Todd McFarlane named you as one of the artists working on Spawn this year. Thanks." Which means Wayne missed the earlier conversation.
That's right. Spawn, the Spawn picture that I did for the stream about a month, maybe a month and a half ago or so, is going to be a Spawn cover. So there you go. Yeah, no, I'm very, very busy. So that's what I'm doing.
Perfect.
And I love Spawn. I would, have a blast doing a lot more Spawn, but there's only so much I can take on.
Other Minds has a super chat for $19.77. Other Mind says, howdy, Dave and Meredith. because this is Other Minds' thing. Murda. How does the potential, I never forget him, for social media reaction impact the comic industry? I'm thinking about the J. Scott Campbell kerfuffle with the Iron Man Riri Williams cover. So how is social media impacting comics and the comic industry?
Well, it is, it absolutely is. I think that Twitter especially is very prone to creating a lot out of something that really wouldn't have been something, in the past, and that can be good and that can be bad, and however you feel about it, it is reality, and so you just have to be aware of it. And certainly, I'm aware of it. First of all, I don't know anything about anything, so I keep my mouth shut anyway. It's not like I got no idea. So I don't have some kind of a big opinion on things that I'm suppressing. But if I did, yeah, I'd be very, very careful because, whatever you say, people are going to disagree and they're going to have a hard time with it. And it's, to me, not worth it. I feel like I'm just going to say, in terms of what I do and what this channel is about art and drawing and the characters and just a love for the craft and the medium. And I want it to be about that. And I want it to be for me and for all of you. And I think that we can disagree on a lot of things. And I mean, there are so many nuances to what people feel about everything, but I think there are things that we can agree on. And I want to focus on that. And, I think we have a great community because we have something that holds us together. And I think we need more of that. So that's what I think.
Perfect. All right. It's 9:01.
Oh, right. Book of the week. Okay.
I haven't packed it yet. I haven't packed any of your books since last Monday.
No, but the books that I do have up I have a tiny fraction of the books that I normally have. So the first book of the week I'm going to do, this is a total...
First? What do you mean the first?
Yeah, just relax because you'll see. So this is a total shameless plug on my part. And,
Plug.
Yeah, I apologize. It's actually not really a plug. I'm not trying to sell it. But, okay, so I did some artwork for a fashion designer. And really cool looking stuff. Like, check it out how cool this stuff is. And so he sent us the book.
You're not plugging, you're just showing off.
Right. Okay, so it's not a plug, yeah. But check this out. This is my favorite picture. I didn't do this one. This is by Adam Polina. I think this one is absolutely ridiculous. It's such an amazing picture. And I hate to show you this one. It's the first picture in the book for a reason. It's so nice. So I'm going to show you mine. And, it's going to be a bit of a... I'm pretty happy with mine, but it is not that. And you can see in the book, he's got all this. This stuff is all... What is it? It's all knit, right?
Yes, it's all knit.
Now, I'm not a fashion person, but I thought it was so incredibly inventive. So when he emailed about doing this, and I certainly wasn't the only comic artist. Like, look at that. That is Frank Quietly. And again, very cool. It has a bit of a Mobius kind of a feel to it. And I think it's pretty amazing. So, it's just, very cool stuff. I've never seen anything quite like it. So this one is by Hector Barros. Very nice with the birds. Gotta find mine. You know what? I don't want to take too long because we still actually have a book of the week.
Yeah,
so let's see if I can find mine.
That was
here.
Fun. What's it?
Hang on, I haven't even shown. Oh, there.
Here it is. The name?
Oh,
Xavier.
Xavier. I'm so bad with it's okay. So I'm gonna read it.
Just read it.
Brizzo.
Yeah, Brizzo.
Well, you guys can see it too, and I know
Xavier
that I'm saying
Brizzo.
that wrong. Would it be Brizzo? Do you think? Anyway,
I think that's
Xavier
right.
Brizzo. Yeah, an incredible fashion designer. So this is a picture I did for it, which is a lot of fun. You can see I definitely did it more my way. I tried to make it as like respectable fashion as I could, but
it's fun. That was awesome.
So anyway, I've been dying to show you guys this for ages because we talked about it. I mentioned it ages ago. You probably wouldn't even remember, but it's been on my mind. I found the book, and so there you go. So book of the week. Okay, so this is a really important book to me. I know I've done Kevin Nolan a lot. I don't care. Kevin Nolan is so huge for me. This is the Modern Masters Volume 4, Kevin Nolan. I don't know how easy it is to find this book. I'm sure it's findable, but it's got like this really great overview of kind of his career. Also, they interview him throughout the book, so you really get a good sense of the way he works, his tools, just his mindset, influences, all the stuff that I think is very cool. And yeah, some of his early stuff, it still is incredibly good, you know, but you can really see the progression. But what I really like to, you know, I want to, as much as like there's so much great stuff in here, but Meredith will like shut me down in just a minute. So I don't want to get too carried away. But you can see these are actually some very early layouts for him. And it's, to me, amazing. Just, you know, hopefully that's not too small on the screen. Just how perfect those faces are just in the sketch. And you can see why. You think so? Okay, let me come in.
I can't see.
Okay,
just
hold on.
Lift the book up.
Lifting the book up makes it go out of focus. There. Yeah. That's a sketch, those faces. And you can see why he was able to be a finisher. That's something he did for so much of his career, is just finishing over other people, because he could just, you know, like I can see actually there's some sketching under here. So this is not his initial approach, but still, I think that looks like it is his initial approach, which is bananas to be able to do that. And to me, it's really always very informative to see an artist's underdrawing, because you really see how they form up their figures. So anyway, there's more. Right. And no, there's more, because I look, there's so much great stuff in here. I wish I could talk about it all, but there are some other layout. Oh, look at this. This is a Wolverine cover. Just the pencils off the screen.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yawn into the microphone.
Meredith.
I don't mean that like in a rude way. I'm tired. That was like,
I didn't mean to yawn. I'm just going to draw attention to it now.
I yawned and then I went, oh crap, I just yawned in the microphone. Do you know, you have that moment? Yeah. You're like, because I kind of checked out for a minute. Yep. I'm sorry.
And actually, another thing that's, it's throughout here too, but you can see here, this is, and I can't remember the artist. I know it's written in here, but this is the pencils that he got. And I think in the notes, they asked him to adjust the way the feet were on the page, and it was just, you know, he thought it was too difficult. So, and this is his inks, and you can see it's hard to get the feet in there. It's completely his own shot. He is credited as an inker on this book. This is, I don't even know the book, but he would do this all the time. He's credited as an inker, and he would just redraw. Like here, this is Robin's face here, and there's the inks. So, you know, I guess you could call that inks if you really want to, but I think it's really interesting seeing how he takes a layout. It's a competent enough layout, and really, like, you know, not only does beautiful lighting, but just in terms of his, you know, his layout, I think is amazing. There are some other pages too. Here's another one. I can't show you everything, Meredith will freak out, but there is one more thing that I do want to show, and that is there's so much stuff I want to show. It's okay. You know, it's breaks my heart to skip, but
can't show it all.
There's a particular shot in here that I have. This face right here. You could look through my work and find that face so many times, I'm sure. You know, like this book has been like a Bible for me. This right, you know what? I got to zoom back out. I mean, I'm trying to get it into the picture here, and it's impossible. This one here, all of these really, but there's another one. I'm going to find it. I mean, look at this stuff.
All right.
Okay, but it's this one right here of the Beast. And I love the way that he did that face. Anyway, you know what? This is like the most useless book of the week. I'm teaching absolutely nothing with this. I don't know if I ever do. But really, I'm just going, oh, look at this. I love this figure. I copied it all.
That's what you do every week.
I know, it really is.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're like, oh, look at this, blah, 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 blah. Oh, look at this, blah, 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 blah.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Excited about
That's what book of the week is every week.
This is the latest book of the week that I get excited
That makes it, you know what that means it's time for? Me to say, hit that like and subscribe. I don't know what the likes are at right now because my screen says 401, but I'm pretty sure we're over that. So if you haven't already and you're still watching, hit the like button. And if you haven't already, why are you not subscribed? Join the Finch vlog. click the subscribe button. All right. I got to find my next super chat. It is from Charlie Parks for $5. This is going back to our conversation about, depression and feelings and stuff. And Charlie says, what I've learned over the years is simply be gentle with yourselves. There's no manual for this whole life thing. I think that's absolutely true. And I think I've said that before too. You just have to be, not maybe on this medium, but like in Facebook and stuff, just be kind to yourself. Like, we're kind to other people. We need to be kind to ourselves too. Like, it's okay to have a bad day. So good advice, Charlie.
Something I got, actually, I don't want to, you know what? Okay. So I want to say the name because I'm sure that he wouldn't mind. And it's not something I think is embarrassing, but it's not mine to say. So
we'll say a blank name.
Right. But an artist, actually an older artist than me, not too much older, that I used to work with, he had a lot of depression and he was going through some therapy for it. And he said one of the biggest problems that he faced is he would remember things that he had said or done, whatever it is, just embarrassing scenarios. And he would just you get that that cringe,
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, I get that. Like, you get that, and that can be debilitating for some people. And I know it was for him for a while. And that's one thing I definitely get.
You know what? I actually really like the analogy for that one of putting it in a bubble and letting it float away.
Yeah. Well, and also understanding that
literally visualize putting whatever it is that you're because you can't change the past.
Well, and nobody else on planet Earth remembers or cares.
Yeah.
It's never as important to anybody else.
Put it in a bubble and let it float away and move along.
Yep.
That's one of the things that I will say faith really gives you, because it gives you a sense of freedom from things that you've done in your past. I think that faith in having a relationship, for me, it's certainly done that. Having a relationship with God and having a faith allows me to just let go of the past and live each day as a free.
Right.
So
that's great.
Yeah. All right. Next.
Well, he's got a motorcycle, such as it is.
Cornelius, best next super chat comes from I'm gonna make it.
You'll be all right.
Cornelius Krieger. Another super chat from Cornelius for 17 Dutch kroner. Cornelius says, Dave, have you ever been to or heard of Denmark? Well, of course, we've certainly heard of Denmark.
Yes, and I've been to,
Have you been to Denmark?
Yeah.
I've never been to Denmark.
Really? You sure?
No.
Oh, you know what?
No. Yes, I am sure. You did that trip with your cousin.
Yeah.
That was pre-Meredith.
And only just, not far.
Pre-Meredith,
yeah. It was great. It's a beautiful place. What I saw was beautiful.
I did have a friend from Norway, but it's not Denmark. It's like saying Canada and the US are the same place, which we know. You guys don't have Tim Hortons. Well, you do now.
They do. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It is, but whatever. It's still not the same.
Frenetic Gemini has a super chat for $5. Frenetic wants to know, have you ever watched DREDD starring Carl Urban? If so, what did you think of it?
That reminds me, somebody asked, and I didn't get a chance to answer. I don't know if we were fighting or what was going on there, but
it's possible.
We
don't fight. Not on the stream ever.
No.
Never.
It's all for show. Whether I like the Sylvester Stallone or Keith Urban, Carl Urban. Keith Urban is the music guy, right? Carl Urban.
Keith Urban is the music, yes.
I love Sylvester Stallone, and I really like that movie. He wouldn't put the helmet on throughout the movie. He's Sylvester Stallone, so he didn't want to wear the helmet. And so, there's whatever. I thought the Judge Dredd with Carl Urban was one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my whole life. And I've seen it, at least 5 times since then. It's the kind of movie you can just put on. It's not, it's not a big thinker. It's just it's an incredible movie. And it was a perfect Judge Dredd. And as far as I know, I think it did well. Like, why there hasn't been another one, I don't know. There needs to be another one.
Perfect. There needs to be another one. Neil Booth, super chat for £5. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. I got to skip that. Sorry, Neil. I'll get to you next. Dr. Fantastic, because it was another Judge Dredd. I missed it. $5 super chat. First Judge Dredd exposure, was it Brian Boland or Carlos Esquera?
Asking me?
Yes.
Simon Bisley.
Oh, there you go.
And I know, but that really was my first. Simon Bisley's Judgment on Gotham is the first time I had ever seen Judge Dredd. But that book came out right when I first got kind of into comics. And I got, it wasn't Wizard. It was another one, similar to Wizard that's not around anymore. And they had an article on Judgment in Gotham, and I saw Simon Bisley's artwork, and I was like, I'd never seen anything like it. And so I managed to get a copy, and then I found Lobo and all of his work. But that was my first introduction to not only Simon Bisley but to Judge Dredd.
All right, Neil's up for a super chat for £5. Neil says, "Hi Meredith, hi David. Very grateful to see David draw my list suggestion of Judge Dredd. Thank you."
Yeah, and thank you for the suggestion. It's a great one. And this, by the way, is as much as Meredith, gives me a hard time. This is voted on by members in our member section. So, I really wanted
members.
I really wanted to get it in there.
Freaking having a voice in the stream. I knew that was going to be a problem. SCS Powerlifting for $5. Getting back to the Patches conversation. SCS says Patches as the Red Lantern Cat for the win. Because you are going to draw her. That has to be a stream.
Actually, I like that one.
Patches as the Red Lantern Cat?
Yeah, that actually...
SCS did get the win!
Yeah, I got to admit. That, you know what, I'm not kidding when I say I'm not drawing Patches as a freaking superhero. You can forget it.
You're going to have to draw...
Red Lantern? Yeah, I can see that.
You're going to have to draw Patches as a cat. That. You have to now.
Look, I love the cat.
I really know, but now she's part of the stream. She's like a personality. I'm not asking you to draw me.
I just want to point out the stream. It's all about me.
No.
It's supposed to be biased.
It's all about Patches.
Losing control.
Well, yeah, that happened the day you proposed.
And the day that I couldn't keep up with it and you came downstairs. What was I thinking?
Max Martin, super chat for $5. And is not the loot that soothes your spirit the very wood that was hollowed with knives? A line from Khalil Gibran's poem about sorrow and joy. I love that.
Yeah.
The loot that soothes your spirit is the very wood that was hollowed with knives. So you never know. The sharpness actually could be creating something that brings joy to somebody else.
Well, yeah, thank you for that.
That was lovely. Thank you so much for that, Max. I'm going to copy and paste that. Not just in my copy and pasted from super chats, but I love that. Jamie Martin has a super chat for $5. Jamie says, "Hey Finches, I'm drawing along and OMG, Dredd's costume is so convoluted.
Oh, I know.
Dave, why would you ever agree to do this? LOL."
I think that's part of the reason why I wanted to put the bike in too. I figure if I'm in for a penny,
We're done at 10 tonight, right?
Oh yeah.
10, not 11.
Oh yeah, no problem. Don't worry about it.
Okay, that's it. Neil Booth banned.
What did Neil say?
He was the judge suggestion. Neil's banned. Banned from the chat. I liked you, Neil, but now if I'm here till 11. Kevin Mandeville super chat for $9.99. Kevin says, "Dave, is there a particular page / book or cover of yours that you consider to be a personal benchmark? One that after you completed it, you considered it to be a moment of artistic improvement?"
Oh yeah.
Thanks for the super chat, everybody.
Early on, I was on Cyberforce and I started looking at Simon Bisley. Something I've talked about a few times, where I was really struggling with my art at Top Cow. I couldn't make it work in the way that Mark was working. My boss, who was my favorite and is my favorite artist, I just couldn't draw that way. And he is actually a huge influence. So it's not to say that I don't draw like him. I just couldn't pull it anyway. whatever. Long story short, I started looking at Simon Bisley, and I drew this arm on a page, and that was the first time where I thought it worked. It was different. Like I remember staring at it like, oh, like I was so happy with it. It just felt like such a big deal for me. And when it got printed, they put a word balloon over it. So, I was so upset. That's the only time I've actually gotten upset about a word balloon. That broke me. After that, I was like, okay, well, it happens. That time, though, it was tough. Another time, I was working on Moon Knight, and I did the shot of Moon Knight flying down into the city, and I was able to detail the character in a way that I wasn't able to. I was working with Danny Mickey. He had a great sense of detail, and he could pull it off. So it was making me more adventurous with some of the rendering choices I was making. I had really pulled back from doing that for a little bit at Marvel. I was just finding that it wasn't being translated well. It just wasn't looking good. And so I keep looking up, and I'm like, hey, I don't know if I like it. And so, just getting that kind of level of detail into that picture, and being able to really, really just put all my focus and time and energy into that one character the way that I did. It was really my first chance at Marvel to do that, because I started at Marvel drawing. As far as the first book goes, I did Call of Duty. Probably you guys are not aware of this, but I did Call of Duty first, and then I did Ultimate X-Men, and then Avengers, and I was really like the team book guy, and I wanted a break from that, and so it was my first chance to really, just get in there with a darker character. It's more my comfort zone. I'm going on and on. Moon Knight was a big one for me.
Right. The Joker's little pit had to super chat. The Joker's little pet had a super chat for $2.99, but I didn't see a comment. So Joker, the Joker's little pet, if you have one.
Not only did you miss his comment, but you called him
pit. Is that mean? Is that what's the word I'm looking for? A Freudian slip? Because I'm feeling like I'm slipping into the pit.
I don't know. You'd have to tell me that.
The moving pit. I'm in the pit right now, trying to get out. Oh, super chat from. Before I read the super chat, there's another quote that I really liked from Isabel E. The tree cannot stand without the contest of the wind. From Stephen Esterly. See? All these things. It's good to feel bad. Well, it's not good to feel bad, but don't feel bad about feeling bad. That's the point.
Yeah. I'm sure it's no fun, but,
As we all know. Yeah. Gabriel Santos has a super chat for $5. Gabriel wants to know, have you ever considered going back to throwing lines at a 45-degree angle like Dale Keown? I've been exploring it, and it's a lot of fun.
No, and I found it okay. Honestly, I say no because the truth is I haven't thought about doing it. That's not to say that I'm against it. It is hard for me to think that way. I find if I go along the form, either along it vertically or horizontally, it's easier for me to kind of get my head around that, and so I tend to stick with that. But I like the look a lot, and it actually was. I found it working for me for a little while there when I was on Cyberforce early on. That's kind of when I was really using it. When I found Travis Trust, I kind of moved on from it to a bit of a different style, but it stayed with me. I use elements of it. So, I don't know. Like, I think there's a real argument to be made that it's considered to be a dated style. And there's always a statute of limitations on dated. What is dated in one decade, in another decade will come back and be nostalgic and can be very, very appealing again. Right now, I would say that I think most people would consider. You know what? I think it should be dark. Most people consider the image style of rendering to be a little dated still. I don't know if its time has come back yet, but you know, I think somebody needs to come along and do a bit of a twist on it and make it fresh again. So I think that's something I'd love to see happen.
All right. Daniel Castelli has a super chat for $4.99. Daniel says, we have Tim Hortons in the US, because this is my Canada-US differential.
Yeah, we know.
Now we're just waiting for the healthcare.
Yeah, really. Yeah, we got that.
And then he says, hey, you guys never talk about WandaVision. Have you seen it yet? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, how is it we haven't talked about that?
Okay, because we just started watching it.
Okay, that is true actually. Because did we start watching this week?
Maybe.
I think maybe.
Maybe we were watching it last week, but we just didn't come up.
We're 2 episodes back from where it is right now.
We've watched 4 episodes.
Right, and we're kind of savoring it a little bit. Like I just don't want to.
And because we have to talk about this.
We have a WandaVision related interview coming up
in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So on Process with Meredith and Dave, we talked to somebody who worked on WandaVision.
Yeah, not just somebody. Now I'm gonna say.
Can we talk about who it is?
You know what? Well, he is the director of creative development for Marvel Studios. So not only WandaVision, but also he's responsible for all of the movies.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man. He's been working on
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh my gosh.
The new Thor, like a ton of stuff. And we had a chance to talk about a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah, he was a great interview, and you know,
so much fun. And a friend of yours from Top Cow.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's Andy Park, and he is a genius artist, a fearless artist.
It's so funny because we were sitting on the couch today. I was said to you today, like the thing I love about listening to his story last night was how brave he is.
Yeah, like
brave is the word I use for him.
Yep.
So, and then that's in 2 weeks. Who do you have on the show this week? It's Jason, isn't it?
Yeah, we have Jason Fabok
this
coming up.
This week's show is Jason Fabok.
Very exciting.
Who, another Canadian, it feels like 2 Canadians in a row, but also like fellow resident of Essex County.
That's right.
We get together with them. Well, no, I don't want to say all the time. I can't say all the time.
I wish it was more.
But compared to other artists, we get together with them all the time.
Yeah,
he can come for dinner. He's close enough to be able to come for dinner.
That's right.
So that's very cool. So you guys, like a couple of incredible episodes of Process coming up. So you don't want to miss these. These are coming out, oh my gosh, Thursday this week and Thursday next week.
Yeah.
So I better hope I don't forget to post it because Thursday's moving day. So Yuri, if you're listening, get those videos done.
And yeah, you know what Yuri's thinking?
He's thinking, I haven't even got the one video yet.
Yeah, maybe
because we just recorded it last night.
Maybe if Dave would actually give me the file.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, Greg L, Static Art, $5 super chat. Hey Dave, can you help with how to draw a running pose, maybe an extreme one like the Flash, and if you can, maybe a forward angle and a slight 3/4 angle. I feel like Greg is like drawing comic based on your. Okay, Greg. This is very specific though, Greg. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So funny.
So for running, the key to running is I'm going to do this from the side first. So I've got my back. This would be my right arm coming forward and angle it. And my left arm is going back. So there you go. And there's my head. Well, that means, here's my pelvis. That means that my left leg needs to be forward and my right leg needs to be back. You see what I mean? Hopefully that's clear. I drew it from the side where it's difficult to see which leg is forward. So anyway, from the front, and also I'm gonna angle my shoulders this way, my hips this way. So I've got, and this is gonna be the worst figure ever, right here. I just want to get it across, but so I've got this arm coming forward for shortened, coming toward us, and then the other arm going back, again, for short and going away. And then in response to that, my hips are actually going the other way. And so I'm going to have the opposite leg going forward. And then, what a mess. This is how my figures look when I'm kind of thinking on the page, and I'm not really thinking about the figure so much as what I'm drawing. And I actually really like, notice how his leg, I really want it to have an overall punch into the ground. So I really like that kind of a shape where the whole thing just has a bit of a curve, and I could even kind of bring it around for the back leg like this. I like doing that. Just so you know, an overall gestural shape, as opposed to, you know, something that is not that way. And so 3/4. Now, the other thing to consider is that I can draw my back leg on the ground and my front leg up like this. And then, you know, the same, this arm forward. Just like that. Or I can draw it more like this, where the front leg is on the ground and the back leg is up. If you want an extreme pose, you really want to ideally kind of have, you know, the full extension. So this to me always reminds me more of like a Jim Lee Batman pose, you know, and you got the cape out like this. And he's on top of a roof. So that's from the front. And from a 3/4, really, it's a matter of just being able to turn your forms in space. So it makes it a little bit more complex because I'm using like more of an oval shape here. So there you go. That's not even really, that's actually a little stiff. But this is, you know, I'm kind of thinking on the page. So what I would say for all of this stuff, though, is, you know, find an artist that does it really well and use them for reference. Or, you know, look at sprinters, you know, that kind of thing. Look at life and just do these kinds of gesture sketches looking at life and comic artists, I think, that do it really well. Francis Manipool, you know, if you want a great running pose, look at Francis Manipool's Flash. It's good stuff for it.
Right. Brad Scott Art for $20 has a question. A follow-up question. Thank you so much for the super chat, Brad. I think the art is what makes a comic. No disrespect to the writers, because the story has to be good as well, but some writers go overboard. When I open a page full of text blocks, arg. Your thoughts? MMR.
Okay.
MMR means Miss Meredith rules.
Oh, that's very nice. I agree that the art is more important for a comic in the sense that comics, what makes comics special, it's really the art. You know, that's the one thing that no other medium really has, and it's that synergy between the artist and the writer. So it's not just the artist. And a lot of times you don't really see that. You don't see what the artist really brought to the script, or what maybe the artist lost that was in the script, and that can be heartbreaking for a writer. But yeah, I think the art is absolutely fundamental to what makes comics great. And writers definitely can interfere with that. I think being too controlling, not giving an artist the ability to, you know, visually create something interesting on the page, because it's very difficult to get that kind of creative control nowadays. Writers really take most of it. So I think that we lose something with that. At the same time, like I said before, good stories save comics, years ago. And, I think for comics to survive long term, I'd love to see comics go, see more like a European model for a lot of things where, you get the albums and you get something that is a little bit more in depth, all one book, whatever form it takes. So you need a good story. And so for me to say, the art is more important, the story is still, I think, in any medium, story is still number one. You can watch a phenomenal movie visually, and if it's completely unwatchable story wise, you're going to call it a bad movie. You're not going to say, oh, it looked beautiful but it was awful. You're just going to say it's a bad movie. That's a fact. So yeah, I love the art. I'm biased toward the art. I think you need a good story. I totally contradict myself with that answer, but whatever.
There you go.
It's true though. Like I'm so biased toward the art, and it's what's most important to me. But I don't agree that the art is more important just because.
Well, here's what I think. I think that a good comic book writer recognizes the importance of the art.
Yeah.
Because comics are a visual medium. You're not writing a novel. So you need to be writing to the strength of the artist that you're working with.
Yes.
You need to be writing to have those big visual moments. A comic is about the splash page, the double page spread, the big half page shot.
It is, but then
write for those moments.
Yeah, and I think some writers do that very well, and like anything, some writers don't. But then artists, the same way, you need to understand not just what is going to be a cool shot to draw, because it's like this big punch or whatever. You need to know how to recognize the key emotional beats in a story and how to get those across and be faithful to the script that you have. That is so incredibly
be respectful
important.
Of the writer.
And that is the stuff that when you read a comic that you really enjoy, I'm not actually sure who gets the credit for that. I guess maybe I don't know, but it doesn't matter who gets the credit for it. Ultimately, it can be difficult to know who's responsible for making that have such a great impact between the artist and the writer. Ideally, it's kind of a synergy between the two.
Yeah.
And it's a shame when an artist doesn't understand a writer's, you miss the point of it and the scene can just get lost. And something that could have been very, very powerful is just inert on the page. And the writer can't plan for that. It's impossible to plan for the artist just totally to, blow it. So, yeah. We both have our responsibility.
There you go. That's a big long response.
I can't help it. I'm
going to move on.
Bear in mind that I'm drawing when I'm talking, so a lot of times I'm barely thinking about what I'm saying.
Oh,
like
you're barely thinking about what you're saying. Awesome.
You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of rambling. This is why having you on the show is actually really good because it's, 2 hours of me rambling. I think it'd be a little tough to take.
Agreed. Although it's the most you would talk ever in your life.
This is among the most that I talk.
It's true. I know.
I'm not a big talker.
You're not. All right. Russ Hicks has a super chat for $5. Russ says, best of luck with the move. I know they can be stressful. Thanks for doing tonight's stream amidst all you have going on. Aw, thanks so much, Russ. I packed our bathroom. I packed all afternoon today, and I feel like I got our bathroom packed. That's it. And I have 2 days left. Our closet's my goal for tomorrow. I have 49 boxes left.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I have enough boxes. I also have to get your office. Oh my gosh. The art. You know what you don't even think about is how much freaking art we have on the walls here. I haven't even started packing the art. I'm just going to take it down, put it in the back of the minivan and drive it over. There's no other way to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just put it in the basement in a stack and figure it out later. Disrespecting the art, but what are you going to do? Sheldon Martin has a super chat for $10. Sheldon says, Finch fam, I was trying to find a Sylvester sketchbook in my comics to study folds, and I found the whole run of Dave's Moon Knight that I didn't even know I had.
Hey.
So it was a win day for Sheldon.
Well, that's awesome. I'm pretty proud of that run, mostly.
You're very proud of it.
I mean, there are things. There's always things. I had a huge fight with the writer who was a phenomenal writer, by the way. I'm still a big fan, as much as we have not.
Charlie Houston.
Yes, and we have not spoken since. You talk about an artist not. I wanted to draw something more action oriented, and I got so upset about it. We ended up kind of butting heads, and it wasn't my finer moment. How's that? But yeah, I think he did an incredible story.
There you go. Greg Gal, Static Art, $2 super chat. Is there a date for the upcoming draw along stream? Is there an upcoming draw along stream?
There is, yeah, actually, and we're gonna do it with.
Is that a members only thing?
It is, yes. Okay, so yeah, we have the our weekly stream right now, but then we're also doing, like, I did a critique stream last week or 2 weeks ago now. It wasn't anyway. Week and a half ago, and upcoming is the draw along stream, and that is coming up, and I want to do it before we move, because if I don't, there'll be no other stream for members for a couple weeks, and I don't want that to happen. So it will be later on this week, most likely Wednesday night is kind of what I'm planning. So I'm gonna talk to Eric about it. Get it
after
planned.
we move.
It can't be, because if it is, did you listen to a word I just said? No.
When? What do you think you can do before we move?
Wednesday night.
No, I'm sorry. Wednesday night's not going to work for me. The night before we move, we have to go to the house. We have things we need to get done. I'm sorry. It's going to have to be after we move. I love everybody. I love all of our members, and our members love us, and they will totally understand.
I sure hope so. Well, this is what I'm kind of going through. Is
internet? No, we will have internet at the house. You're going out Wednesday morning to get the internet set up. If maybe you'll be able to set up enough that you can do something on Saturday or Sunday, but it cannot be the night before we move. I'm very, very sorry.
Okay, all right.
Nothing is happening this week.
Well, it's a good thing we talked about it.
It is good you talked about it in front of me, because let me tell you, the meltdown that would have happened.
I can hear it.
When you
I don't know if you guys can hear the
up
slight,
to me, and told me that you were doing a stream Wednesday night. I cannot even begin.
All right. Well, fair enough.
Yeah. Let's all.
So let's just say Saturday.
Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, I'll do my best, but it'll be coming up.
Dave's going to spend the first, all day Saturday just getting his setup set up. His setup set up.
Right.
Right. That's kind of funny.
It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks too, or more. Next time you see us, we're going to be behind an insulated wall. Like, it's just going to be, because it's in the basement. It's not finished yet. And so, yeah.
Next time we
do the
stream, pretty. I won't be on the couch. I'm going to be I'm setting myself up on the other side of your desk.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. So I have control of the soundboard. Perfect. I have some suggestions, but we can talk about those after the stream. Because after the scream, that was a Freudian slip right there, because that's what you're going to do when I come up with my suggestions. There you go.
I don't want to know.
Hum on us. Can't afford a super
Homunculus.
Chat. Huh?
Homunculus?
I don't know. HUM hum. ONG OUS us. Can't afford a super chat, and it doesn't matter. Hey, but hopefully you'll see this and think about it. Dave, after the move, will you and Meredith host a 24-hour comic and stream a 24-hour comic?
Never,
ever.
I got a job.
Never. Do you know what Everett asked me today?
What?
He asked me, for $1 billion, would you let Dad punch you in the head? He asked me that question. This is a 17-year-old teenager boy. I'm like, no, not for $1 billion. You wouldn't let him do that. I'm like, no. There's some things that there's not enough money in the world.
That was just his random, hey, let's make some conversation.
But $100 billion, no. He's like, well, I guess you don't care about me and set me up for life. I'm like, no, I don't.
That's what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said to me. I'm like, no, never, ever will it ever be, for any amount of money, okay for your dad to punch me in the face.
Well, what's worse is,
and never, ever, for no amount of money.
It's worth his mother being punched in the face so he can be set up for life.
I know.
I mean, I think if you put it that way, hopefully he would kind of rethink that.
We failed. Somewhere in the parenting stratosphere, we have failed. And there's not enough money for us to do a 24-hour stream right now. I mean, maybe there is enough money, but
it's
like...
It's not even about the money. First of all, I don't have the energy to do it.
I can barely stay up for 12 hours, let alone 24. Yeah,
I don't have the energy. I'm too old. And I have way too many, like
we are too
at
old.
all times. Like right now, I've got layouts that need to get done.
So true.
Like constantly, I'm always. Every time you guys see me, there's another thing that I'm not finishing that needs to get done.
So there.
So yeah, it's truthfully not something I'd want to do anyway. But
nobody wants to slap together a comic in 24 hours.
I like putting my, the best work that I can out there. Now, I mean, honestly, this is kind of slapped together versus what I could do. Like I'm starting to think maybe the bike was a mistake because.
Oh, you think? Once you finish the character, and then maybe the bike doesn't necessarily get finished because it's 9:45 already. I don't know how much longer I have in me. Just finish the character, Dave.
All right, fair enough.
Finish it.
Okay. Gotcha. That's what I'm doing right now.
Wesley Jones says I use flat screen TV boxes to box art or to love art. Wesley, I don't know if there's enough flat screen TV boxes in the world for the amount of art that we have in this house right now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So much. So much.
Yeah, it's rare that my ink block in with a brush quite so long, but this is it was a mistake, but you know what, having fun.
Well, I'm glad.
There you go.
At 10:30 I'm just piecing out,
okay,
and then you're on your own.
All right, fair enough.
And NYC everything has a super chat for $4.99. NYC says patches. Patches. Where's Patches? Come on, Patchy Patch. The Finch cat. Where's Patches?
When did you say you were peacing out?
Not soon enough for you, apparently.
All right. Moving on. Oh,
King Crow says, I can hear the meltdown already. LOL. Saturday it is.
Yeah.
George Arnold. See the stream cares. Dave and Meredith, we can wait till you get moved for the draw along. Take care of yourselves first. We understand. Because if you check Meredith into the insane asylum, who's going to help you on Monday?
I know. As tempting as it is.
Jason Jones says you should record you setting up your art space. That's like Monday Night Draw would turn into Monday Night Live, the throwdown showdown between Meredith and Dave.
Yeah, just what we need.
The tennis says next time it's frayed nerves and bloodshot eyes from moving. That's
and
true.
Recording it, hey, I could see how that could be kind of fun. And the problem is that it's not like I'm setting up a new space and I've got my space over here. I'll have no space to work and I have so much work to do. Yeah, that really would be just like meltdown time.
Yeah,
from both of us.
Yeah,
I don't think that would be a good idea.
I have some suggestions, but we'll figure it out. There's a few priorities at the house. Greg Al Static Art for $2. So that's a super chat. By the way, thank you so much for bearing with people like me. So many questions. Greg L, that's the point of the stream. Questions.
Oh yeah, if there weren't questions, I would just run quiet. That was actually my biggest fear in doing this when I first started, was there wouldn't really be questions, and I would just start going, and then it's just like dead air. Yeah, I was very afraid of that. So
the most unique channel name Meredith has seen says
is back again.
Yes, says soon this will only be Meredith's stream. Henry Jeremick says, Meredith, at the new place, you'll be in charge of sound effects? Yes, I will, Henry.
There's Henry.
Yes, I will. Henry's been here all night. Henry's here. Don't you worry. He asked me if I put out the garbage. I did.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah.
Mike Stewart says, Meredith Tarragon, Queen. No, it's Daniel. What? I can't pronounce it tonight. I'm too tired. Queen of the Finchlands, first her name. Yeah, that's me.
Right.
Daniel. Oh my gosh, it's like from Game of the Thrones.
Game of the Thrones. Oh man.
Just to show you how tired I am.
Kids and their internets.
It's going to turn into tears in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Oh, I'm doing my best. Meredith, Rike Inglaze 123. Meredith, you guys can make a video unpacking the art like a big book of the week. Oh, dear. Nobody wants to see that. Isabel E., I'm going to read this one. God bless you in your move, Marathon Dave. Thank you, Isabel. I'm holding on. Every day I wake up and I say a little prayer. I know God's going to get me through.
Well, you started long ago enough that, I mean, there's still a lot to do, but we're not in such a bad position, I think.
No, we're honestly, you know, it's all stressful, but I say this, but we are so blessed because most people have a day to move. Like the moving truck shows up in the morning, you get all your stuff in it, and you have to be out of your house and cleaned by 4 o'clock because that's when the new people get the keys. And
right.
You know what I mean? We have 4 days to move. The 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. And really, if we need to do something on the 1st, we could, because this house doesn't close until the 1st. Like, we are so blessed. So blessed. So, as stressful as it feels,
could be worse.
It could be so much worse. Packing everything up. I'm just looking at this little thing in front of your desk, seeing all these books that I didn't even think about packing.
Yeah, all my
on your little
Batman
TV
black
stand.
and white.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna ignore that I can see. I pretend I don't see that right now. Trent Early is a super chat for $10. Trent says, Dave, I was taught storytelling by Tom Lyle. His method in working from full script was to mark out the writer's camera angles as he felt this was the artist's choice. Do you ever do that? Oh my gosh. Microphone fell on me.
I don't necessarily do that. It depends on the writer and depends on the situation. So I look at it, and if I like it, I will go with it. And also, you know, look, some writers really know what they're doing in terms of camera angle, and I feel like it has a thematic impact. You know, and a shot where you're looking up at a scene has a different kind of visual meaning and impact than a shot where you're looking down at a scene, that kind of thing. And writers that really understand that and do it well, yeah, I'm not going to mess with that. So it depends. And if I don't think it works, then yes, I'll change it. But I don't know. It's tough because I prefer to be able to come up with a lot of that stuff. Generally speaking, though, my whole career, like all the whole time I was at Top Cow, I did all my own storytelling. When I got to Marvel, I started working with Bendis. And he does his own storytelling. As a matter of fact, he was actually sending me layouts sometimes. And he was very, I don't want to say controlling because, I mean, he really wasn't, but he definitely knew what he wanted. And it was my job to make sure that his story got across. And he was very, you know, conscious about working with artists that had the ability to do that. And so, yeah, I didn't see that I had a lot of leeway in that stuff. And so really for me, my contributions, I really, you know, it's still the actual contents of that panel, the way that I arrange the characters, the way that I arrange my shape composition, you know, flow from panel to panel, still all mine. The actual pacing, that was very much Bendis. And similar thing when I work with Jeff Johns. I mean, he knows what he's doing. I leave it alone unless I've really got something that I think is really going to work. Truthfully, I don't ask for permission and say, hey, you know, can I give this a try and talk about it with the writer? Because when I make those changes, they're always mild. Like I don't mess with the intention of the writer. So there you go. Yeah.
Apparently, people on the stream are far cheaper than I am.
Why's that?
Because Darren Eamon says, Dave, you can punch me in the face for $20.
$20. $20, let her rip.
Let her rip. Eric would eat gum off the sidewalk for $100. Shannon McIntyre, welcome. I don't know if you want to like rethink this one, but welcome to the Finch flock, Shannon.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We're talking about eating gum off the sidewalk and punching people in the face for $20.
For $20. How did it get here?
Too funny. All right, I got some super chats. I gotta find the Magic Box has a super chat for $4.99. Hello, Meredith and David. Dave, actually, sorry. Mr. Finch, check your Instagram DM. Sent me pics of the tattoo grip tape. I'm a professional tattoo artist, and yes, try it.
I am very sorry, but maybe if you could email me on just
Dave never ever will check his Instagram.
No,
he doesn't know how to do it.
Even Eric Grove taught me. Eric Grove taught me how to. I keep saying Eric Grove as if everybody doesn't know it when I say
just
Eric.
Say Eric. It's
I know.
Just Eric.
Eric taught me how to post from my computer. My phone doesn't work, or if it does, like I don't use a phone ever. I basically don't have one, and so yeah, I post from my PC. I don't know how to check messages. I don't even look. I post a picture if I post it, and I walk away. So really, I would say, yeah, please just email me. My website or my email is in the YouTube whatever info section, you know. So yeah.
All right. Levi L. Pavia has a super chat for $4.99. Thank you, Levi. Levi says, do you have a new figure pack for sale? I bought the last one. It was a huge help for practicing renderings.
Well, thank you. I don't. You know, it's something I should actually really kind of look at getting another one out there because I did it. When I did do it, I basically just spent some, I want to say spare time. I never have spare time, but what I do have is like mental health time, truthfully. And I found that stuff really relaxing to do. And so I just would spend, you know, half an hour or so before I started working instead of just sitting there and watching. You know what I've been watching lately? I've been watching police interrogation videos, and you watch them like slowly, but the person's sitting there and they're like, you know, okay. And then by the end of the interview, they're like, just all curled up, you know, really my life. I don't know what to tell you sometimes. That's what I've been watching on YouTube to give you an idea of the kind of better use I could be putting my time to.
We're all cracking up over here.
Anyway, so yes, I would like to do another one. I've got so much stuff going on, so I want to say, oh yeah, you know, but I will definitely.
Did you?
Yes, what?
Did you respond to the tattoo tape?
I did, and I said, please email me because I can't.
Right.
I can't get it on Instagram.
dfinchartist@gmail.com.
Right, and yeah, unfortunately, like I don't know how to. That's not true. I know how. I need to use my phone. I don't use my phone, so yeah, Instagram's not a good way to get in contact with me.
Water shush for $5 Singapore dollars. Hey Finches, call me hater. Have a safe move. How do we know when the tier 2 stream goes live? No notifications thus far. Notifications are on. Thanks.
Well, the tier 2 stream, we had one last week.
It's in the community section of your YouTube.
Right. You can check and I post about it in the community section, you know, when it's coming up. I don't really know the internal workings of YouTube well enough to say, like, if a notification isn't happening, it's a little difficult for me to know why. But I do know, yeah, a good day before it happens, I post it on the community tab, so you'll know it's coming. By the way, this last week's tutorial, I put up. Oh, you know what? I had a couple things. Somebody asked last week if I could put up the critique stream just onto regular YouTube, and I've been meaning to do that. It's been a busy week. I completely forgot. I actually have forgotten a lot of things this week. So, yeah, I mean to do that. That's what I'm saying. And the other thing I forgot now. Oh, right, yeah. A couple of days before this week's tutorial, the foreshortening tutorial went up. I put it up on the members section, and I just put up the unedited version. It's edited by me quickly before I give it to Yuri. So what you're seeing is just like a rough cut. And I think they're about 10 minutes extra of drawing in it. Some stuff that, like, I always end up doing a lot more than ends up getting shown in the YouTube videos. You can't really put up YouTube videos that are an hour long, or they really start to suffer. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. it's a little slower paced for sure. It's a bit of a different watching me just draw. You know, the stuff that when Yuri's finished with it, it's partly real time and partly not, you know, whereas that stuff is all real time. So there's some long gaps where I basically just stopped talking.
Cool. Coolio. Trent Early, super chat for $5. Trent says, thanks so much for answering my question, Dave. I value all that you do and say and share on here. I have the greatest admiration and appreciation for you. So nice.
Thank you very much, Trent. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, Eric Huffle said, sometimes there's no notifications because the channel puts out more than 3 videos in a day. And then there's a 3 notification limit. Sometimes it's just YouTube being dumb.
Yeah, I don't think we ever really put anything like more than 3 out in a day. But every once in a while, I'll notice I'll go into my YouTube, like, you know, whatever. You get like a dashboard where you can see all your stuff. And it'll say, you know, analytics might be off because they're experiencing difficulties, that kind of thing. Like, it just happens. And so, yeah. So hopefully the next one will show up, and I will, again, make sure. Now, a draw along stream is going to be very interesting. I'm going to be talking to Eric about that one. I'll talk to Charlie Park a little bit because I've never done one, so I'm a little bit like, well, I don't know what we do exactly with that. So it's going to take a little bit of planning, and it might be a few hitches here and there. And also, we don't have Meredith for that, so that helps.
It's going to be significantly better.
That's right.
Day without Meredith. What would you do?
I don't know.
David, you haven't even drawn his gun.
Oh, it's in there. Oh, don't worry. It'll take a second. Trust me.
Are we on track for 10:30?
Yep.
Promise?
We are. Yes.
Promise.
Yeah, we are. His motorcycle is going to end up having to probably
get done later.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
I love you too. It kills me though because
you're the one that added the motorcycle.
I know. The problem is when I say, "Oh, it'll get done later," it makes the whole picture looser and a little bit, you know, like this is a pretty loose picture, and I never actually get around to finishing these when that happens, which is not good.
You can do it Wednesday while you wait for Belle to show up.
Oh yeah, I'll jump on it. See what I mean, right? I can do it. I could do a lot of things all at once.
I know. If only there was 2 of you or 3 of you, 4 or 5 or 6 of you. Rax7 for $10 super chat. Rax says, "Hey Dave, so weird to see Battle Angel make the book of the week a few streams ago. You should add her to the list. Maybe a piece of her with Aphrodite 9. Thanks for all that you share with us."
Yeah, thank you. And actually, that would be a lot of fun. That would be actually a really very cool combo. And it's been a bit. I have not done 2 characters together. I've only done that twice, and I haven't done it for a little while. So, and the last time actually was Ascension, Lucian from Ascension, my old creator-owned comic, with Hellboy. So, you know, it's kind of cool to take my characters and put them in the same world with something cooler.
Oh, your characters are cool.
Hellboy's cooler.
Ayman Islam says, "Meredith, can you ask Dave to suggest how we can learn shading metallic surfaces?"
Okay.
Just talk over my coughing.
It's hard to just talk over it. Okay, so I actually have a bit of a plan for my next tutorial, and that is I'm thinking about having a poll, and I'm just going to do it on the you know, community tab, so for everyone, because there are 2 videos I want to do, and I have actually been kind of holding off on them just a little bit, but because since we're going to be moving, we keep saying that. I'm sure you guys are like, okay, I know you're freaking moving. I'm going to have a little less time, And so there are a couple of ideas that I had that are not quite as time intensive. Number one is the top 10 things that I have learned over the years that I wish I knew when I started, things that could have saved me some misery. So I want to do that video. And the other one that I really want to do is textures. And I've got a few of those textures already kind of decided. One is a metallic texture. Another one is fur and beards. And another one is, I forgot, but I wrote it down. And if you guys have any suggestions, actually, I would love to get them. That would be great. That would be very helpful. So, yeah, one of those two. And I'll put up a poll between the two, and I will do the one that you guys pick next. I mean, I'm sure I'll end up doing them both at some point or other. But
you're saying your next sketch?
No, my next tutorial.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
it's going to be a simple one.
Out to check out the tape that people were sending me.
Because I'll tell you what, Meredith, like my tutorials, the last bunch, aside from like the inking one was fairly simple, but I've been doing ones that are a real, like, challenge for me to try and think my way through, like, how can I explain this? And, I've also been struggling with the fact that for the most part, I really don't want to just teach it in a way that other people have taught it. So it's not like I'm just going through, like, I showed a book on dynamic figures that I thought was really good, but most of that was just me, doing my thing. For shortening was really me just kind of doing my thing. Actually, Russ, who had a super chat just a bit ago, he actually sent me an email with some interesting stuff for perspective that I had gotten wrong. And he was gracious enough to suggest that I might have just done it that way on purpose. It's not true. I just didn't know any better. I mean, there are definitely some pretty big limits to what I know. And I thought the way that he showed some examples, like, visually, that I thought were very cool. And I want to put those up too. I haven't checked the email to know what his response. Like, I asked him if I could just put up his email for not just member, for all you guys, because I thought it was interesting. So anyway, I'll have to check email, or maybe if Russ is still here, he can respond. Let me know. I'll put that up for you guys too. I'm rambling again. All
right. Agent Cubs has a super chat for $2. Agent Cubs says, "Sweet, you're still alive."
Me? Who?
You're still live.
Oh, still live. Oh, yeah.
He must have just joined. Is Meredith? Meredith is still alive.
Yeah. I thought you meant still alive.
Still awake.
Still awake, I really am.
And still awake.
I'm working very quickly on this thing right now. I should actually zoom in. Let me zoom in just a little bit here, so we can actually kind of see what I'm doing just a bit better. There, that's a little better. And yeah, I'm gonna end up skipping the background, because if I do the background, you will lose your mind and the whole thing will just suffer. So we should be fine to finish in a reasonable time.
Wants me to lose my mind. Oh, and Richard Ware sent Rike sent tattoo tape to my Instagram, and Rich Ware sent it to your Gmail. So
okay, great. Thank you guys.
Get some tattoo tape.
Very much appreciate it.
Tattoo.
And actually, that is true. You know how to check your Instagram, right? Like, you do that, right?
I know how to check my Instagram.
I know how to check. That's not what I meant. You do check your Instagram, or do you?
Yes, I check my Instagram.
Okay.
Daily. How else would Patches post?
I thought the cat was doing it.
Okay, yeah. Well, sometimes she takes my phone, but her paws are a little big.
Right.
So silly. All right. Super chat for $1.99 from Daniel Castelli. What colors are on your palette when painting? And before you answer this question, please, people, I see people saying, can we add so-and-so to the list? I'm not adding anybody to the list this week. So save it. Save it. Save it for next time. Save it for 2 weeks. I don't have it in me. As I would tell my children sometimes, I don't have it in me to make pancakes for breakfast every morning.
Okay, well, Daniel, thank you, Daniel. I use cadmium red light because you get a much more intense red from it. And I do like bolder colors in the highlights. Like I don't like a bold colored piece overall, but I like to have pops of bold color, and you just can't get that otherwise. So cadmium red light, cadmium yellow, phthalo blue. Phthalo blue is great because it's incredibly strong, and it's also transparent unless you add some white to it. So I like that. I like that I can use it for glazing very easily without having to use any kind of glazing fluid. I don't use green because green, obviously, if I've got yellow and blue, what do I need green for? I mean, heck, I can actually just mix. I use black also. I guess it would be what, ivory black? I think that's right. If you mix that with yellow, you actually get a green. It's a very, very weak kind of a green, but it really is. I like the color. It would be a difficult color to mix, more difficult anyway. So I like that. I also don't use brown, but you know what? That's totally not true. I was gonna say I don't use brown, but I do. I use raw sienna and burnt sienna because I find that if you have raw sienna, burnt sienna is very, very difficult. Raw sienna is not so hard to get. Like that color is not so hard to get if you have burnt sienna. But they're both a headache, and they're both useful for different things. So I have both of those, and I also use yellow ochre because, again, yellow ochre is not a hard color to mix, really. You got a brown, but they're so commonly used. So yeah, I use all three: yellow ochre, burnt sienna, raw sienna, and then titanium white and black. That's it. That's my colors. Oh, and no, I was gonna say purple. I have actually used magenta at times. So I should say magenta too. I don't always use it, but it is an impossible color to mix otherwise. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I sure can't. So there you go. That's the colors that I use.
Cool.
I think she's sleeping.
I'm not sleeping, but people are still asking to add people to the list. So I'm scrolling through those ones because I'm not reading any of them. Agent Cub for $5. So when are you moving into your new place? And is there room for me?
Oh, of course.
No.
Agent, I don't think there's room for me. The whole basement's not finished.
There's barely room for my children. I'm like, I don't know if Everett's gonna. I'm not moving Everett, by the way. That kid is gonna. He keeps telling me he's gonna pack, and he hasn't packed a single lick.
Yeah, well,
in his room, and if that kid can pack his own bedroom in his car for as far as I'm concerned, I'm not doing anything.
Okay. Anyway, that was.
When are we moving?
When are we doing?
We're moving Thursday and Friday
and Saturday.
Hopefully, and Sunday. Hopefully not so much, but
yeah, but at least we have, at least we can.
It's entirely possible that we won't even be in our new house till Monday because we might not even get the occupancy permit till then. So
yeah,
we might be like moving all our stuff and living somewhere else.
That's actually something we have been sweating. It's true.
So who knows when we'll be in?
Yeah, that is one thing I'm really kind of wringing my hands about. Now, I mean, we've got, fortunately we're not in full lockdown. So, can't go to my parents' house, can't go to your parents' house because both of them are a little like,
We'll be in a hotel.
Yeah, we really would be actually. Yeah, for like 2 days. It is totally possible. It'd be a hotel live stream. Would that be fun?
No. Yeah. No, that won't even be possible.
I will just do it to put the final nail in our relationship.
Yeah.
That sounds like I want that. It's not what I mean. What I'm saying is it would
be the final nail in our relationship.
Right. I'm not saying that I think that would be a good thing and I'm going to like aim for that. Right.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
It sounds like you're taunting me right now.
I know that's what it sounded like.
Taunting.
It's really not what I meant.
Terrible. So.
Watch how fast this gun happens.
Okay, I'm watching.
You're watching? All right.
I'm going to time it. Too bad. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
You know what? If you're going to start doing it out loud, come on. You could be kidding me.
I was doing that with getting gas today. I counted to 103 times.
Oh, so when you started doing that, you're not messing around. This was going to continue.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Okay, yeah.
I was driving Isaac to school. When I left the house, I had 80 kilometers left in my tank. By the time I got Isaac to school, I had 40. It's a big, long drive out to that school.
It is, yeah. Well, fortunately, you won't be doing much.
And then I had to go to Home Depot, and I was like, oh, dear Lord, please let me make it to a gas station before I run out of gas, because I'm in the county. Like, I'm out. There's like, and I won't stop at a gas station that doesn't have pay at the pump.
Yeah.
So I drove by 2 of the old style gas stations on my way.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I can't do old style gas station. I need pay at the pump. I don't want to
Because going into and say hi to another person.
It's a barrier I can't overcome.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
It's terrible. I'm getting gas. I just want to put gas in my car.
I feel like that
those old pumps, I feel like I don't even know how to use them anymore. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand. If I don't put my card in and I don't push a button that beeps, how does that pump even work?
Yeah.
How do they know I'm going to pay and not drive off? Intimidating.
How many years did we just do it the old-fashioned way?
I don't know. I used to work at a gas station. Actually, you know what's funny? I used to work at Petro-Canada in high school.
Wow.
When those were the old pumps. I mean,
yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about. The county pumps, they're like old.
Oh, no, I know.
They're like, even when I was working at the gas station, the pumps weren't as old as those pumps. These are like pumps from the 1970s.
Yep.
Journey Art has a super chat for $2.
Thank you, Journey Art.
Hey, Dave, started college 2 weeks ago. Started art college 2 weeks ago.
Oh, great.
Any advice?
Any advice? Well, hopefully they have a really good drawing program and you're learning drawing. If you are not, and it's not something that's really strongly emphasized, I would definitely supplement your curriculum with figure drawing. Something you might even want to consider is, get some of the other students together and maybe pitch in for a live model. That's something. What's that?
You told me the gun was going to be fast.
Meredith, I'm doing my best here. When I said it's going to be super fast, I forgot he had all these pouches. Like, I was thinking, it's never fast. Not as fast as I was hoping.
Zayu wants to know if our new house is bigger. It's not.
It's not. No.
It's smaller.
It's
less cleaning.
It's got a lot more land. I mean, obviously, it's got a lot of land, but it's a smaller house. And that was it was a decision we definitely had to make. Like, hey, you want to have the biggest house you could possibly have, whatever. We can't afford it too. Like, some reality there. Like, budgets are an actual thing. So,
yeah, budgets. Yeah, for sure. All right. That gun, the good thing I wasn't counting 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Yeah, that would have got old pretty quick.
That would have.
That was actually getting old as it was.
What kind of gun is that? Do you know anything about guns? Is it a made-up gun? Is it a specific gun?
He has a specific gun, and this is really not. Just because the reference that I had just didn't. It's not a specific gun. I hate to say it. That's one thing that is very difficult for me to do on these kinds of streams too. It's, intensive reference is not an easy. It doesn't exactly go hand in hand. So, yeah.
I like this quote. I'm going to use it from now on. It's from Figure Drawing. Meredith will be the Meredith of him.
I'm sorry, Meredith will be the what?
The Meredith of him.
Okay.
Should be the death of him.
Oh.
Meredith will be the Meredith of him.
Yep. Fair enough.
I can make 11 more minutes.
Okay, well, you're good. You'll be fine. I can make that time frame. So I'm going to my thinner pen. Oh wait, almost. Gotta finish his boot.
You have a does he have a badge symbol?
He does, but I'm using my thinner pen. This pen here, first of all, it's getting a little bit old. I need more. I can't order. You know what? Dr. Rock actually sent me one. I think I'll find it as soon as we move. I'm gonna have to dig it out.
Do you know how many pens I've packed?
Okay, all right, chill out, please.
Do you know how many pens I packed?
And
none of them are the right pen.
Yeah, well,
that's why Isaac can come down and take pens and leave the lids off pens, and you don't even care because you've got like 1,000.
All right, it's getting late. It's getting late. I don't have really the pens that I need, and when you start giving me a hard time about it, I actually may lose my mind.
Sorry. Kenneth Day says Walmart carries those now. Not Walmart in Canada.
Well, maybe they could. You never know. I don't know. Anyway, as much as I want to get in here and do all this stuff, there's not time.
So we've got some play on my name now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kenny Wang, Murdeath. Eric Huffles, Murder Death. Nick
Wow.
from Detroit, Meredith Kill. Erica Scott, Murder Death. Oh, poor Murder Death.
How did this happen?
I guess because I'm sweating you down.
Oh.
Tagamo Model Works for $5. I'm looking forward to hearing Meredith snoring on the couch. It could happen. It could happen.
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm much of a snorer, but I think it was Meredith would be the Meredith of him.
Oh.
Meredith of him.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what started it all. Murder Death. Mary Death. So everybody's doing it. Yeah, figure drawing. That's right. What have you started? What have you started?
Yeah, I think that a lot of art schools don't focus on figure drawing as much as I think that they should.
Xander Malcolmson says, Eric Scott, I had an art teacher always told me to crosshatch. Other teachers said you have to stop those crosshatching and do something tonal. So
I think there's a benefit to both, though. Now, I personally have a relatively dim view of teachers that say, this valid technique that artists incredible illustration artists for centuries have used is something you need to stop and is not like something, not down with that. But, a teacher forcing you to use tonal and try it, I think that's great.
So there.
And, I didn't go to art school, so I don't really have the kind of formal training that I would like to have. And most of what I know is just, baloney intuitiveness, just like figuring it out as I go. Like, I don't know. And I feel like sometimes in my tutorials, it kind of comes across that way. Like I'm explaining what I know in the way that I know it, the best way that I can. And I do not like complex explanations. I won't do it. And the minute things like I read a book and it gets a little complex and they start getting theory-ish and, into the weeds, even I'm out. Forget it. I have no interest because I can't use that. I just want something that is going to give me what I need to draw. And so that's always my approach. And I feel like one thing I am proud of with the videos is I do think that they're kept simple. And, and I'm not keeping it, I am keeping it simple for your sakes, but also it's all I know, like there are definitely major holes in what I know how to do. But, I can make it work for me. So now you asleep?
No, I'm still awake. We have 637 likes.
Oh, very nice.
Can we make it to 650 in the next 6 minutes? I've already hit my like button. Have you hit your like button, Dave? Are you allowed to like your own video?
I don't know.
You can like your own picture on Instagram.
Can you?
You can.
So you've done this?
Of course I have. Just to see if I could. I want to know, can I do it?
Just to see if I could.
Just to see if I could. I can't follow myself though. Otherwise Patches would have like 1,000 followers.
Because you just do it over and over again.
That's
Create
right,
new
just,
accounts.
Yeah.
Right.
I could do that. Oh.
Well, no one can deny that our life has gotten so much better now that Patches has an Instagram account.
That's true. You have no idea. It's true. Nobody can deny it. It has gotten so much better.
Right.
So
I don't know why it makes you so happy, but I'm glad it does.
It's fun to post pictures of I mean, I love my animals. So
Yep.
it's fun to post them on the street on my Patches' Instagram. It's like I don't post. Everett used to get mad at me. He's like, "You never talk about us. All these other parents talk about their kids all the time." I'm not that person. Like I don't.
You mean like if we have like friends over, you don't?
Yeah,
brag
I don't like say, "Oh, have a good day, so and so," or whatever. Generally, I'm not. I mean, I will, but I don't normally. Like it's not my natural tendency.
Right.
Because I just think people don't want to hear it.
Right.
But
actually, it's true. You're more likely to complain about them. It's terrible.
Truly,
the kid's getting straight A's, by the way.
But
you know, he's going to university.
Yeah.
But we could tell you all about how his room isn't clean.
That's right. And he's got to pack his own damn self.
Yeah, that's too funny.
But the animals never sass me. I mean, Dippy sometimes sasses me. Patches is sometimes sassy.
All right, if we're going to start talking about which horses sass you, I'm going to speed up as much as I possibly can.
Okay,
here.
I'll keep talking about sassy horses.
Please don't.
But what I'm saying is, so I just like posting the animal pictures because there's like, so it's fun.
Yeah.
People enjoy it.
Right.
And I had this awesome, Isaac thought, genuinely thought the cat had my phone and took pictures of herself.
Come on.
Because of the angle that I took the pictures at. Like I put them in front of her face. So he thought, he's like, the cat stole your phone.
He actually said that to you?
Yeah, he did.
He is 12.
He's 12, exactly. He's 12. It's still possible and plausible in his mind, which is awesome. I hope he never, ever loses that. Oh my gosh, I said 650. We're already at 682. How did that happen? I look away from my screen for a moment. Oh my goodness. You guys are the best. All right. Alcides Gomez has a super chat for $10. Alcides says, I have a question. Ever since I started drawing again, I was very excited. But since studying, I catch myself drawing less because I don't see them as good as I want. How can I break that? Thank you.
You know what? When you start, you don't really know your limitations. And so not in a lot of ways, ignorance really is bliss, And so when you learn what you don't know, and that what you don't know gets bigger and bigger all the time, and it can start to seem daunting, and it can seem like you're actually losing ground, but that really is gaining ground. It's gaining a lot of ground, and but that's not to say it's not without pain, it really is. But I want to point out that there are bodybuilders that work out, hours every day and bust their butt and lose muscle every day, and it doesn't matter because they're older now, and you can't keep the same kind of muscle you could when you were in your 20s, but they bust their butt. And can you imagine how much they would love to be able to go to the gym and lift 10 pounds more one week than they could the week before and actually see that growth? Well, you're in a period right now where you're growing, and that's a very, very exciting time, and do not deprive yourself of that time because it's scary. It's a very special time, I think, when you're really learning that much that fast. And yeah, just embrace it. Embrace how bad your art is, because it's better than it was before. You just recognize it now. And now I say this like, it sounds terrible, how bad your art is, but you know what I mean? Like, as you grow, you see your mistakes and it gets more difficult to accept, but you will overcome that and you'll come out of it a much stronger artist. And you'll look at your older work from this period and be embarrassed by it. That's always the ideal. Nobody wants to look at their old work and be embarrassed, but that's what you want because that's where you really see growth. So that's what I would say. Just embrace it. And yeah, I've gone through this too, where I did not want to draw. It was just painful, you know. So yeah.
Jimmy, page 1 comics. Jimmy says, if I had told my mom talk about us, and I don't mean ever wanted us to talk about him on the stream, but like when we would have friends over, and but anyway, Jimmy says she would have said, "Well, do something worth talking about."
Man,
so funny.
Kids these days, they don't have parents like we did.
That's
real parents.
That is, but I am more inclined to downplay my kids than upplay them.
Yeah,
and there are parents who are more inclined to like
look at this before
play their kid, like really brag about stuff. So
yep.
It's just different parenting. So. Paul Essenson has a super chat for $7.99. Paul says, "Hello there. How do inkers and colorists tackle their jobs if the pencils are tonal?" Good question.
You can't ink tonal pencils, not effectively, not without completely recreating it.
Can you color it?
Oh yeah, you can color it, but even that is very limited. You are, sorry, I'm trying to kind of see my reference here. It's a rare that, in my opinion, I can't see the reference well enough to really. Apologies, guys. It's going to be a little sketchy in here because I just can't see it. I find tonal stuff when it's colored it loses something, unless the person that did the tonal stuff in the first place is also the colorist.
Cool.
Like Alex Ross does tonal, you know, all of his stuff is done like kind of black and white with gouache or whatever, you know. I'm no expert, but and obviously that really works, you know. But generally speaking, or I shouldn't say generally speaking, a lot of times tonal stuff is not done with reference, and it can be very difficult for a colorist because colorists, you know, they really, there's a interpretation of lighting that goes on there. And that can work with black and white, but with tonal stuff, it's much more forgiving to try and get to work.
So Kenny Wang says there have been studies proving that cats think that you are their pet. I believe it. She cleans me.
Yeah.
Like I'm her pet.
No, yeah, I could believe that. Yeah.
So funny. And I can't read the name because it's in a different language. But it says, the cat was the one who took the picture. It's the truth. So funny. Erica Scott, my kid has never made a single mistake. I don't have kids.
Yeah.
That's one way to go.
Nobody's arguing with that. That's for sure.
Dave, X-Kid Zed wants to know what camera you're using to shoot the drawing.
It is a Brio. Logitech Brio. 4K webcam. It's not really operating 4K right now just because StreamYard doesn't have 4K capability. My tutorial videos are all filmed with this thing though, and I just film directly from it, and they're 4K. So,
Dave, where are we at?
I'm basically done because
10:34.
Yeah, I'm done. As much as
amateur artist, his mom's pressuring him to go to bed too.
Okay, I'm sorry, amateur artist. Here we go. So yeah, there's my figure. I had some other stuff in there, and it just didn't happen because, you know, I bit off more than I could chew. It would have been, because I was thinking, I got a bunch of stuff in with Captain America. The difference is Captain America I'm not referencing, right? So.
All right, 2 more likes, then we can be at 700, so we can end on a good. Quick. Well, Dave signs his name.
Wow, that was a huge amount of fun. I'm actually, look at that. Pretty happy with it.
It looks great.
It's not Simon Bisley, but
it's freaking significant amount of detail in.
Yeah. So happy with that. It'll take me really no time at all to finish too. If I ever end up, I need to. Okay. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great week.
Don't forget, no stream next Monday.
No stream next Monday. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
But you can catch the process episodes this Thursday with Jason Fabok.
Fabok.
Yeah. I addressed this in the stream actually.
Right? Yeah, and
next week with Andy Park.
Right. Well, the last episode of WandaVision is coming out, so that episode of Process is really set to coincide with the end of WandaVision. So I think it's pretty exciting. I'm pumped, and it was a lot of fun.
If we're not back in 2 weeks, somebody didn't make it through the move.
That's right. Yeah, one of us will be in jail, the other will be gone. I'm sure we'll be fine. All right, everyone, have a great week. Thanks, very much. Thanks,
everybody. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I never have it in the actual window, so I can't. All right, bye.